Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one could be a very close encounter. The Highlanders taking on the Hurricanes and what always delivers as a very entertaining match. I'm hoping for a close game, like I mentioned, and it could easily go either way between these two sides at Forsyth Barr. But looking through, first of all, at the home side, the Highlanders, it is going to be Ethan de Groot, Liam Coleman, and Jermaine Ainsley as the front row. Bryn Evans and Josh Dixon as the locks, and then Gareth Evans, Bryn Evans' brother, he is going to be slotting in there at 6. James Ledgers at 7, and then Marino Makaeli-Tu'u is there at number 8. Aaron Smith and Marty Banks does get the start at number 10, which is a massive opportunity for him as he has been coming off the bench a majority of the time throughout the rest of the season. Thomas Umaga Jensen, and Denny Solomona will be the midfield, and then Scott Gregory, Sam Gilbert, and Cotton Garter Bishop as the back three. We have also got there in the chat ZZZ, also Paddy Tesla are in the chat as well, and Peter versus Thomas. The Twins are at it tonight. They sure are. Unfortunately, we don't get to see both of them out on the field at the same time, which always seems strange because they always switch them at some stage throughout the match. But this is the Hurricane starting lineup that they have decided they want to go with. Pori Rickety Stones, Asafa Moa, and Tavita Mafaleo as the front row. Then James Blackwell and Isaiah Walker-Leoere, who has recently returned into the side right. They have just said that Hugh Renton's actually in the starting lineup. Who is that for? One moment. Okay, that is going to be, instead of Marino Makaeli-Tu'u, now Hugh Renton is going to be slotting in there at number 8. Now looking through at the loose ball trio, Reed Prinsep, Artie Savia, Blake Gibson, all very capable players. TJ Perenara, he is there at 9. Garden Bishop at 10 in this match. So it is brother versus brother in the Garden Bishop family household as well. Geordie Barrett, Balin Sullivan as the two centers. Julian Savia, Salisi Rayasi, and Josh Morby slotting in there at fullback for this matchup. But these are the benches as well. Key players for both of these sides, I would say, for me, Pitu Manga Jensen, definitely for the Hurricanes, and then for the Highlanders, probably Billy Harmon, the man who's been away for a very long time, now gets to return into the side, and hopefully he will be able to leave off or start off where he left off, which was in some very good form, making a lot of tackles, and also the battle with Booth and Whakatava off the bench will be another must-watch for this. Okay, I thought they were saying that more players were out, but they were just saying about them 100-0 to the Canes. I don't know whether or not they'll quite go that far for it. Let's go Highlanders, says Tristan. And now what's your score predictions, Betty? And there says Tesla. But for me, I think this game's going to be split by less than 10 points. Maybe even less than 7. It's hard to tell with these two sides. I'm hoping for a good matchup, though. Hurricanes last week up against Moana Pacifica, they were able to get themselves 8 tries. For that, for some reason, a guy near my house is lighting a lot of fireworks tonight. Easter fireworks, maybe? I don't know. Can you even still get fireworks? I wonder where he got them from. And also, you have got the this is definitely, or this could be a career-defining positional change for Geordie Barrett. It could be. He's been at 12 quite a bit lately, and it seems like that might be exactly where he's decided he wants to stay, depending on how it goes, because they've got that many fullback options. They've got Josh Morby, they've got Ruben Love, who can also slot in there if needed. And also we have got if the Canes win, they'll go to 6th, and the Waratahs drop to 7th. And the Waratahs, they have got their game a little bit later on tonight up against the Western Force, which should also be a nice one. I'm backing my boys for a good game. And there for 43-19. And also I need Hurricanes not to lose by more than 5 to win my bet, says Jack. So have you just got the bet on this one, or is it like a multi for this one? But do let me know. Now, Thomas Umaga Jensen, big opportunity for him. Forsyth Barr, there's a few people in attendance, probably not as huge of an attendance as they would love to have for this matchup, but currently the Highlanders making their way out onto the park with the bagpipes as well. I think big performance coming from Jermaine Ainsley. He's been very good recently. Now Thomas Umaga Jensen gets to make his way out there. He's extremely happy at the moment. 13 defenders beat, and he could be a dangerous man. I think he's loving the fact that he's in the starting lineup. He is smiling ear to ear at the moment. And like they're saying, being able to go head-to-head with Geordie Barrett is going to be an exciting one. Aaron versus TJP. And there, yep, TJ Perenara going to be a difficult one. That is visual. And also I have a double Sail Sharks not to lose by more than 9, which they run, and Canes not to lose by more than 5. And there says Jack, and also want my Landers to win. Then my weekend will be a good one. Says Max. So yeah, we will have to wait and see how it goes for them. And also true, there will be a battle. Says but now Marty Banks ready to kick this one off for the Highlanders. Artie Savia gives him the thumbs up, says, yeah, we're ready to go. And I can see that's very good camera work from whoever that was, because they not only had Artie Savia in the background, you could actually see Julian Savia, like a little bit of the foreshadowing of what we will see later on in the match. I just took the over at 51.5 total points. I think I got it. It's Tristan. It's a tricky one. So over 51 points is needed in this game. It could be a close one, low scoring, or it could be a high scoring one. So for your sake, hopefully it's the high one out of the two. Tesla said, go the Canes as Walker Liwere with the first carry of the matchup. Gets driven sideways in a big tackle by Ethan Agru, who also shoves away Balin Sullivan for his troubles. He reminds me of Tyke Furlong a little bit, Ethan Agru. TJ Perenara puts it up on the left boot. Chasing hard, it is Salisa Reasi. Has gone through the hands now. Hugh Renton has been able to clean it up quite nicely. Go the Canes. And there's Paddy Wagon. Smith goes back across to James Lynch's. And it seems to be anytime there's a game at Forsyth Barr, there's a potential of not being many tries at all, which seems deceptive because I guess with no wind, you would think there'd be more opportunity for the wide cutout passes, the cross kicks, etc. But sometimes it's the unpredictability of the weather that does create the opportunities. But now taken nicely by Jackson Garden Bishop under pressure from Scott Gregory, who was starting at 11 for this game. He has had a lot of starts for the Highlanders this season. Now Marty Banks kicks it high and long, getting his first start. Taken by Jackson Garden Bishop. Now going for the kick of mine, looking for the 50-22. It's a good kick as well, and it does go into touch just outside of the 22. It was his brother Connor Garden Bishop who was trying to cut that one off, and let's go the Canes. And there says Betty, and also go the Canes, says Tesla. So it seems like we've got quite a few Hurricane supporters in the chat. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be the first try scorer? How's the weather there for me or for them? Because they are inside, so it doesn't really matter how it's going in Dunedin. But currently here, if you're asking about where I am, it is currently 12 degrees and no rain around, which is good news. But I think it's supposed to rain over the Easter weekend, unfortunately, just because every time someone wants to go on holiday, it rains. I think that's kind of the long holiday, long weekend trend, isn't it? Here in New Zealand, but that ball has been kicked high by Aaron Smith. Now taken very nicely. So Lisa Reasi trying to keep himself just in the field of play. He does so. Now TJ Perenara goes back across the Pori Rackety Stones. Oh, ball almost dropped there by Tavita Mafalero, but he's been able to regather it before it's actually hit the ground. Now a big run forward from Josh Morby, who was not afraid of joining the line as the fullback. Now James Blackwell goes back. So Lisa Reasi, Reed Princep drops it. It's going to be a little knock on now. Thomas Umunga Jensen trying to wrestle with Salisi Reasi, who has got him held up. And I believe it's very close to the touchline, but they've just get themselves in the field to play the Highlanders. They still have that knock-on advantage. Evans goes back to Banks now. Now off wide, Connor Garden Bishop. Beautiful wide pass, but it goes through the hands of Scott Gregory. Still under advantage, though, and they will be going back. Salisi Reasi to score the first try. And there's Sebastian also Highlanders. Billy Harmon comes off the bench. Yeah, he's going to be a dangerous one because like his injury, it came at the worst possible time for Billy Harmon because he was in form. Similar to Tom Christie, those two guys, they just put their bodies on the line. They get injured, sadly, just because of pretty much pure aggression and a breakdown, just always there, always kind of attacking. And looking through at the benches that these two sides have got, I think both of them will be able to go the full 80 minutes here because they've both got real good potential off the bench. You've got the two replacements with Smith and also TJ Perenara and Jamie Booth and Whakatava, which are kind of the next up-and-coming generation. Now, what of that? Also, we have got the Canes, says Obi there. But at the moment, the 7th best scrum in the competition for the Highlanders. So somewhere around the middle, just like where they are sitting on the table. I believe they are just outside of being in the top 10 currently. In fact, no, they might have just snuck in the 10. And also we have there the face and also the plug. And they're from Obi, but going down on the front row. And Ethan DeGroot, he's going to be a right handful for Tavita Mafaleo. Actually, no, I'm going right wing side for Geordie Barrett. Or sorry, not Geordie Barrett, Julian Savia, and Highlanders coach says as Josh Morby is the best place for the Highlanders. Or Josh Morby, the best place for the Highlanders. Yeah, he's one of those guys that he's dangerous, Josh Morby, and he's kind of only just come onto the scene very recently, or kind of becoming more of a well-known name, just with the amount that he has played for the Hurricanes in this season. But he's definitely got that potential of being able to go far. It's going to be fed in nicely. Hugh Renton at the back of the scrum, 25-14 to the Canes. It's a brilliant push there, and they have got themselves the penalty from 40 metres out right. They could take the 3 if they want it here for the Highlanders. But it's whether or not they want it. Also, Canes try in the 13th minute Chesters are there for the prediction. Right, who wants the ball? Marty Banks wants it, and they do want to go for the 3. Artie Savia for the first try. Says Paddy Wagon could be a decent shout as well, but it seems like Marty Banks now his first kicking opportunity. I see that there's a couple games of the Japanese top league actually going on currently as we do so. I'm just going to say, yes, they have got the late change of Hugh Renton on the team sheet, which does mean that that was actually for Marino Makali too. I'm not too sure whether or not that is an injury concern or something along those lines. I put clock up on the score, but is it still behind, is it? There we go. Has now fixed the 7 Artie Savia for the first try, 17 minutes. Here's Paddy Wagon going very specific with that one, but currently Shannon Frizzell sticking to the diet at the moment, eating the hot chips and the hot dog at the ground. And I think there was Jonah Nariki next to him. I wonder how far away that man is from being able to come back, because he's been waiting so long. He was having a perfect season, and then Bunnings NBC came around and just took him out for a whole season of the Bunnings NBC, and also pretty much the whole Super Rugby season as well. Now lining up this kick, Marty Banks from 40 metres out on the angle. Strikes it pretty nicely there, and that one's gone over for Marty Banks, and now the score will be 3-0 for the Jonah Nariki at the moment. Just having a conversation with Shannon Frizzell, probably asking how the hot dog is, whether or not it's any good, because if it is, maybe he will get himself one at halftime. Not the best pass from Geordie Barrett off to Josh Morby, but he has still got that one just on the halfway line. The Hurricanes got to attack and run. Going forward now. Nice pass off. I'm looking around for a suffer more. I haven't really seen too much of the man yet. Where is he? Is he out there? Yes, he is. He is just walking at the moment. Okay, that's probably not the best example of what he normally does out on the field, but he's a dangerous man. They've got the advantage here for the Hurricanes, and they take the quick tap. It's TJ Perenara back in the pace now. Princeps, so they've decided to go risky here for the Hurricanes, but straight on the ball. No, hands down there. Now, Blake Gibson passes across what a kicks these stairs, and also Hurricanes lineup looks so much more consistent than the Highlanders. I'd say it's a long shot for the South Islanders to win. Here's Sebastian now, Geordie Barrett, nice pass, Julian Savia finds the pass on the outside of Josh Morby now down the wing, Balin Sullivan with a great step straight through. Balin Sullivan scores, and that will be the first try of the match for the Hurricanes. I just can't wait for Harmon, Parkinson, Nariki, and Shannon to return, and there it says Max, but that was a brilliant run from Balin Sullivan. Straight through. And we all go like this. And we will add them on. But it was all from TJ Perenara deciding that they did want to take the quick tap rather than waiting for the opposition to get set. So the Hurricanes try scorer so far, it's going to be Balin Sullivan. And I don't think that will be the last time that I mention that name throughout this match. That was a brilliant run. Cuts on the inside. It was a good backline movement. Josh Morby linking up with him very nicely from the offload of Julian Savia's greeting again from Almaty as well. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. TJP with a quick tap. Clutch as well. So yeah, sometimes the Hurricanes, they play an attacking style that can get them in trouble. That was not one of those times. It was the perfect option. And Balin Sullivan, he's making the most of his opportunity in the starting lineup here. And I was like, hey, good time to come back and go the Canes, says Tom. So we're very happy with that one. The Hurricanes now leading this match 7 points to 3 with a quick try scored. Balin Sullivan, 2 phases in that one, 25 metres gain. They just got the ball straight back, taking the quick tap. And then going from there, Aaron Smith now knows that the Highlanders will be under a little bit of pressure for the next few minutes as the Hurricanes have taken all momentum back. The Highlanders really need Parkinson back. What do you think? And there says Max, I mean, he will be a good injection into the side. Currently, they've got Brent Evans and Josh Dixon, so they're probably lacking that real big name, I guess you could say, because they've also not got Manakai Selby Rickett in the starting lineup for this match. Or off the bench, they've got Max Hicks. So you'd have to say that maybe the locking department's a little bit thin for the Highlanders at the moment, but as soon as they get Parkinson back, which I'm not too sure when he gets to come back from his injury, taken nicely by Connor Garden-Bishop once again, receiving the ball from his brother off the kick. Sam Gilbert goes for the kick and behind, getting some good distance on it. Just inside of the 22, Sullivan, not only wasn't it a winger, it was the least expected of the two centres there, Sebastian. Yeah, he's very talented, Balin Sullivan, so we have to have another prediction now for the next try. Who is going to score it, ladies and gentlemen? Do let me know. I will go with... I'll go Jermaine Ainsley in the 18th minute. Don't know why. I think I'm praising him big time for Jermaine Ainsley, but I think he's going to have a big game here. Him and Ethan de Groot. Only Ethan de Groot just yanking a man back by his pants, saying, you're in the wrong place, mate. I'm supposed to be lifting him. It's worked out now for the Highlanders. They have got this ball back. Liam Coltman going to be hanging on to that one. And a huge step up for him with Ash Dixon going to Japan for the earlier stage of the season. Adi Savia, they have said that the ball was out. It's going to be an advantage now, and Aaron Smith is not happy with that one. Adi Savia timing it perfectly, and Smith feels hard done by. Currently, ball was unprotected as the comment, and Marty Banks. And there says Max for who is going to be able to score the next try. Aaron Smith, he had the hands on the ball, and then from the Adi Savia just kicks it out of his hands. It was very nicely done by the Hurricanes captain, or is he not captain? I think Reed Prinsep might still be captain for this one. Hurricanes going to win this by 28 points. And then I absolutely flogged that prediction. That's been done for the day in terms of predicting, says Sebastian. How about this, Sebastian? 5 players who aren't going to score a try. See how it goes. And also, Hamish, would you beat Aaron Smith in arm wrestle? No, not even close. Not at all. He would probably, even with both of my hands, still beat me easily. And those halfbacks, they've got some good strength when they need it, because you need a pop pass and a lot of power behind it. But now Julian Savia, close to that touchline, just stays in the field of play. And it's a penalty to the Hurricanes. Once again, TJ Perenara looking for the ball. I think he wanted to take that one quickly as well. But yeah, 5 players who aren't going to score. Let's see if we can get it correct. I can't wait for Ash Dixon and Michael Collins to come back. I don't know if Collins is coming back, is he? Or is he just on loan to, I think he's at Glasgow, is he? At the moment. But I know that he's playing in the URC. I'll give him a good go. And there, but now kick for the touchline from Geordie Barrett. Not a lot of effort kicked in behind that one, Geordie Barrett. I think they just wanted to find touch about 22 metres out. There's a great low tackle there from Scott Gregory, though, on Julian Savia. Then playing the ball on the ground, it was the penalty against the Highlanders. Asafa Moa throws at the front, taken nicely by Ash Dixon. Sorry, that is Reed Prinsep. His name's in my head now. Now Garden Bishop puts up the high kick. It's Aaron Smith versus Geordie Barrett. It's gone through Barrett's hands. And that is huge, because normally Smith versus Barrett in the air, you'd have to give the edge well and truly to Geordie Barrett, but he just didn't quite get it right. The 5 who aren't going to score it is Amua, Prinsep, Blackwell, Mafaleo, and Morby. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Oh, so from that, you'd think that if you're going with the theory of maybe it could be a Highlanders try next, as you have got 5 players from the Hurricanes perhaps. And Geordie Barrett, he's disappointed with that. Jackson Garden Bishop, he's got a big smile on his face talking to Perenara. We're trying something a little bit different there, and it almost worked. But now the problem is they're going to know that they're going to try that every once in a while. Currently now 13 minutes in to this game. Still 7 points to 3 in favour of the Hurricanes. They've had a little bit more position, a little bit more territory with 55 across both of those stats. They have made less tackles and haven't missed one yet for the Hurricanes. So looking the more clinical out of the 2 sides, with also that try getting added. That's moving way too much for the scrum. And everyone was moving straight sideways for that one. Write it down, George, so you don't forget. And as I have started, I've got a nice little feature in my live streaming software that allows me to click on like certain things so that I can put them in a special category for that one. Currently now, the referee is saying, I'm not going to let you continue till something happens in terms of stability, boys, because you haven't been very stable throughout the early stages. Currently looking through there, Adi Savia, James Blackwell, Isaiah Walker-Leawere. I see Dominic Bird also out currently for the Hurricanes, which is a bit of a shame. And same with Franks. He actually got there, then got injured, and he hasn't really played since, unfortunately. And also Mean. And there, as I says, but currently 5 metres out from their own line here. The Highlanders, they're under pressure. It's a good push there from the Hurricanes. Hugh Renton driving forward, not willing to take the offload on. Now Adi Savia has been taken out of that breakdown. And now 5 metres out from the line, it is going to be the Highlanders who have now got the kicking opportunity. Looks like Aaron Smith will be putting this back into the pocket for Banks. He gets some good distance on that one, and it does go into touch. Nicely done there from Marty Banks. And also, let's go Canes push. And there's that was a big push in that scrum, that is for sure. And also we have got there Petty. He isn't a big lad. I'll give you a chance. Amish probably taller than Aaron Smith, says Danny. Possibly by half a smidge. And Hugh Renton steals it, but they're going back for the initial advantage. Little knock on from the Highlanders. Like they're saying, the Hurricanes, they took it quickly and almost got it wrong in that situation. Asafa Moa, he went to the front, went to Prinsep. It worked all right for them, but then unfortunately from there, they just didn't quite get it right. And also you think it's easy to predict he's not going to score, but I have a bad feeling. And I feel like it's almost harder to predict who's not going to score than who is going to score, to be honest. Like, because normally those guys who are like favourites to score, they aren't always the guys who do score. Like for this game, I believe the favourites to score were definitely Salisi Reasi, Julian Savia, followed by probably Geordie Barrett. I guess are probably the three favourites to score. But saying that one of those guys aren't going to score, then you get someone like a Balin Sullivan who goes over. Crazy how small Aaron Smith is, yet how arguably the greatest scrum half in the world, or yet he's arguably the greatest scrum half in the world. So Lisi Reasi goes back across the Perenara. Oh, that was a bit high from, it was Scott Gregory. Now on the outside. Oh, it goes behind. And Josh Morby unable to link up. Now quick throw taken by the Highlanders, but I think there was hands on the ball. And they are going to be going back. And I'm scary strong. And there's us, there's Betty Wagon. Just not in the kneecaps, eh? Unfortunately for you. Hopefully that injury. How was your knee going, Betty? And I was like, what do you bench? Can you bench, Hamish? Nah. The only bench that I am involved with is if I was like playing a game of some sort of sport, I would be sitting on that bench. Now, Josh Moore, a little bit of push and shove from Gregory there. I think Gregory's quite an aggressive fellow at the moment. Seems to be playing with a lot of aggression, although at this stage he's going to need to because they are losing by 4 points. Apparently, Denny Solomon looks like he's getting just a little bit of attention. That glove is very close to somewhere where he probably doesn't want that glove. Feel like he's at the doctor's soon, but now get him back to his feet. Denny Solomon looks like he's going to be all right at this point in time. But the Force versus the Waratahs, that will be the next game later on tonight, 9:30 p.m. New Zealand time. I can match 400. And as I says, Max, and also look at Fafta Tesla. He's a Springbok scrum half, and he can't go on any rides at the amusement park, says Sebastian. I saw he got yellow carded in that game between Sale Sharks and Bristol, which would have been a little bit unfortunate for him. And I was like, they don't bench, but I have weights and live in the country. So I do a lot of wooden stuff in there. But it was nicely done. Oh, so Denny Solomon just got the facial features almost rearranged by the boot of Josh Morby for that one. And he's actually off the field now. So I think that's either for a blood bin or maybe for an HIA. So for Tulipai, he has made his way out there for the next little while. Like they're saying, he's working off or walking off by himself, Sonny Bill Williams versus Max. And as I says, Obi, I'll get him ready to throw this one in. Liam Coltman, 22 metres out from their own line. They go to the middle to Dixon, who has taken it nicely. I forgot about Fuff. And there's us, says Tesla. Yeah, just coming back from his injury. He was away for a very long time, so I think that's slightly understandable for that one. Now waiting for it at the back. It looks like Aaron Smith might be going for a kick here. He is telling who has to leave the breakdown. I believe Tavita Muffalo. They've said that it's fine. Now the ball pops out the back, and it's going to be stolen by James Blackwell. Now Artie Savi's put that one down, and it is a quick little knock on from the Highlanders. Certainly a lot of pressure on the Hurricanes, and also would knock out Sonny Bill Williams. There's his Max, and also even TJP is small. What is up with these scrum halves? And Petty, they have a good arm wrestle against Farmer George. North versus South matchup, says Denny. And also we have got there, I know what Fuff is. I know what Fuff is. As in like a halfback or a South African, maybe. But they are currently 25 metres out from the line. The Hurricanes are going to have the scrum on attack here. So it's going to be dangerous for them so far throughout 2022. Tulipai, 7 matches. I remember seeing him for the Crusaders. Then he transferred over for pre-season for the Highlanders, and then he got injured for the whole season, which was a big shame because he was going to be a huge asset for them in that midfield. But now Perenara passes it across, Garden Battle. Bishop, little pop pass out to Julian Savi. You'd have to argue there was a bit of contact. He's run straight over the top of Scott Gregory. They're going to be checking this one. And at the moment, as I walk a Leo, trying to get Scott Gregory involved in that one. They're going to be checking not just a bit of obstruction here, but also maybe something else that may have gone on. And also Artie Savia versus Julian Savia, who would win? And it's a very good question. I'm sure that they've tried that matchup very, very often when they were kids, possibly. Potential knock-on is what they are checking for. I might back myself. And there's us, says Betty Wagon. All right, checking for a potential knock-on. You'd have to argue he's lost control of that Julian Savia, the bus. And because of it, I believe that's going to be a no try. Yeah. You'd have to say that has been lost control of for Julian Savia. He's going to have to wait just a little bit longer before he gets himself the try. Okay, knock on, 5 meters out, no try, and it will be the scrum feed for the Highlanders. So that's going to be tricky for them. And also we have got there, Julian just did the Lomu. And there's, yeah, I guess that's the thing. Scott Gregory, he normally backs himself as a pretty big unit. Just got run over by Julian Savia, though. But he was saying he did just enough and ran on the top of the defender. It was nicely done by Julian Savia. Just bumped him off, said, see you later. But it was actually the number 6 for this game, which I believe was Hugh Renton and also Gareth Evans getting over there. And Julian Savia needs to breathe. And there, as I says, just a minute now. It is going to be kicked off long from Marty Banks. Oh, he went for the grubber stop, but the ball just bounced drastically. Now drop kick from Geordie Barrett. Waste of a ball. Don't know why he tried to also Falau's my idol in there. I assume that is Falau Fakatava. Maybe, because you are a Highlander supporter, maybe. Unless it's, is it Raul Falau? No, it must be Falau Fakatava, I assume. Currently now 45 metres out from the Highlanders line. The Hurricanes have once again got this ball. Suffer more, little pop pass up. Their backline's looking very precise at the moment, the Hurricanes. They don't seem to have any real, I guess, troubles at the moment, you'd have to argue. But now it's going to be Garden Basher passes it back across. Balin Sullivan with a good step on the inside. They're waiting for the ball to be recycled quickly. Now Tavita Muffalo, the ball comes free. I don't believe he tried to make the pass, and he has stayed down at the moment. Tavita Muffalo. So Lisa Dayasi in the midfield, really under pressure. Did you watch the Blues Crusaders? It was amazing. C's Felix, I did indeed. Every second of it, and it was absolutely awesome. And I was like, yes, you are most certainly correct. And there it says Max Cottle, but now passing it back across to Vita Muffalo. Still a little bit slow getting back up to his feet, but he is back up now. Interception pass almost thrown. And Sam Gilbert, Julian Savia has just run over 2 minutes, hit the foot of the Highlanders. Now Ethan Agru almost getting the turnover. Unlucky not to be able to do so. So Lisa Dayasi now kicking it in behind. He will be going for a kick and chase here. Marty Banks waits for it. It goes into the in-goal area, which means he can put it down for the goal line dropout. Stream every Super Rugby game. Felix, be sure to like and subscribe. And there, as I see Sebastian, and also we have got there, well, nice kick, Geordie, nice drop kick. And there as well, I mean, I get why they tried it, but I don't think it was the right move for them. Like your defense, not your defense, your attack has been sensational throughout the early stages. It's looking dangerous. So to give the ball back to Marty Banks just didn't seem like the right plan there. And now going to be the goal line dropout. I would like to think he won't take it on again now, Geordie Barrett. And also, what is Geordie Barrett's best position? I mean, he wants to get into, trouble for Josh Dixon. You got to wrap the arms. If you don't wrap the arms, you don't get to play it for the next 10 minutes. Shoulder to the head, no arm wrap. This could actually even be maybe a red. So we have got there, well, I say we. So Hamish has even, I do have all sorts of action. No, you do quite a bit, mate. Overall, I called you mate again, and it rolled off the tongue so easily, didn't it? Somebody was trying to get to 2K, and then wing fullback centre. So at the moment, I'm liking him at centre just because it seems to add a new kind of layer to the defence and also to the attack. But I'd say fullback for me is still his preferred centre, his preferred position. So probably the best place for Geordie. And also we've got that going to Ulster versus Toulouse later. It's going to be a good game. I see that Ulster coming in as the underdogs, but they did incredibly in their first matchup. But currently now, like they're saying, he's dropping as the ball carrier. You're still going to make some sort of attempt to wrap, though, for Josh Dixon. And, mate, his natural buddy is the one that freaks me out. And there's Sebastian. And also we have got the NR. Geordie sits best at prop. I'm pretty sure says Tesla. I mean, he'd probably go all right. 6'5". Decent size, right? 5 blue. Josh Dixon's in trouble. And number 5. Aaron, get him over here is what the referee is saying in a nice way. Red card for Josh Dixon. He's gone. Just like that. See you later. 20 more minutes. And then they're going to make the sub. And Max Hicks will be making his way out there. And I mentioned about how they're missing that senior figure in the line out. Josh Dixon, he probably was the senior figure for this game. Oh, no, Brent Evans is quite old, isn't he? Or quite experienced. I was like, man, these red cards, says Betty Wagon. Yeah, no attempt to wrap the arms. High level of danger. Red card for Josh Dixon. And he is disappointed. Dangerous tackle. That means that they'll already have 2 subs made by halftime at least with Denny Solomona not making his way back out onto the field, and for Tuli Paya still being out there. But Mafale, he's been taken off for an HIA, and it is going to be Pasaleo Tosi who is out there. And Barrett would make a good fullback in there. Says Justin, and also another lock bites the dust. And red cards are ruined in this game, says Danny Lewis. That's gone out on the full. No, it hasn't. Never mind. It is a 50-22, I believe it is, for the Hurricanes. And also, do you ever lose your voice during commentary? You talk so much and you're so good at the commentary. I do lose my voice occasionally. Luckily, ever since I've started drinking a bit more water during the live streams, it does not go away as quickly. But it still does go away every once in a while. Now it's going to be Garden Basher back to Salisi Rayasi straight through. And he scores a try now for the Hurricanes. And he'll be a happy man with that one. Salisi Rayasi scoring the try. And the Hurricanes have made the most of the one-man advantage there. They scored themselves another one. Aaron Smith, it looks like he's having a real good chat with one of the men running on the drinks, because something has not quite gone right for them in this game, the Highlanders. And not just talking of the red card either. It seems like the Hurricanes might be able to really run away with this game. Here we go, red card. And surely for Crusaders against the Rebels, the forwards at backs and backs at forwards. I mean, it's a risky one, because at the end of the day, the Rebels were the thing that stopped the Crusaders from making it through to the Super Rugby final. It was a TMO or referee call for the red card. So it was a combination of the two, but they went upstairs to check it, and then they all agreed that there was a high level of danger, no arm wrap. Like, if you're going to try and shoulder someone in the head, at least wrap your other arm, I guess is the advice I'll give you, or just don't shoulder them in the head in the first place. But Geordie Barrett, at the moment, he's got about half of the points that his brother Bowden had at the Hurricanes. He's trying to slowly make it up, though. Now lining up this kick to try and make the score 14-3. Gets it straight over. And now the score 14-3 in favour of the away side, the Hurricanes. And Josh Dixon, he's not looking happy. Denny Solomona, he is not looking happy. But currently the two runners there, Balin Sullivan and Geordie Barrett at Lewin. Two of the defenders, Scotty Barrett and Josh Dixon, have already made Santa's naughty list. And Highlanders are terrible this year. And there says Jack, and also, let's go, thanks, Canes. And there says Justin, but Salisi Rayasi scoring the try. And also Highlanders says, Max, so you were correct, Sebastian, and the players who it wouldn't be. You've done well for that one. Definitely because you did actually pick the side that were going to score the try. So you had about a 33% chance that you were going to end up with the right name there. And I played like 10 years of extra rugby and haven't got on one card. And as I says, Petty, so that means you're just strategic with the way that you do your shots. Or maybe you just don't do those shots in the first place. But now Petty, or not Petty, Piranada, I should say, has put the ball high. Connor Garden Basher wrestled backwards in the tackle by Blake Gibson. Well, easier said than done. The guy is ducking and the tackler makes a low tackle and hits the head. What else can you do, says Denny. Still wrap the arms and he would have only got a yellow. But now going back across, Balin Sullivan. Now off to Morby once again. Round the side, Artie Savia trying to link up with his brother Julian, unable to do so with a good tackle from James Lentzes. You're doing any European Cup games today. Munster Exeter is going to be a classic with the scores, how they are at the first leg. That is probably, if I do end up doing a game of the Champions Cup, that will be the one that I do end up doing. And that is, at this stage, the plan, but it will just depend on vocal cords, because we have got the 7s right through to 2 p.m. actually. We have got, so we've still got another 21 hours or so in lock. And as I says, Petty, currently now Marty Banks. They did win the penalty, the Highlanders, and they will kick it for the touchline. It also is a grass cut tackle, a yellow card. If you don't wrap your arms and you just take out their kneecaps, it is. If not, sometimes it can be a little bit more severe depending on the high level of danger. Like, it's all about how dangerous it is and what your intent is of whether or not you're trying to rearrange a man's legs or trying to scramble his brain. Now, Jermaine Ainsley, nice run forward from him. His first carry of the match, and Sullivan and Rayasi were doing well, trotting along. And there's Sebastian. And locks aren't bad. They're just tall and make mistakes. And there's Petty, but that one's going up high now. Going to be contested. No, Barrett gets it straight in the chest. And now it's going to be on the outside out to Sam Gilbert with a nice step forward. Moving up to the 22-metre line. Still available here for the Highlanders as they continue to build phase after phase. Nice pass across to Fatuli Paya. Now James Lynch's great step there from the number 7. And Rapia, and it'll prevent wrap your arms and it'll prevent a red card. I think Leeds are red hot for the cup. They're incredible. Well, their team is incredible. It's basically Ireland's national team versus club sides. But I should be a 7 or 8 or even outside back. And Peter Wigham there. And also, how old do you think Billy Jack Roberts is? Billy Jack Roberts. I have no idea who Billy Jack Roberts is, but with a name like Billy, probably like 18, maybe. But now Jermaine Ainsley, another step there, tackled by Savia and a suffer more. 8 phases in. Now Bryn Evans, the only lock left on the field at the moment for the Highlanders, going back across the hands of Gareth Evans. He's been busy throughout this match. So it was Evans, then Evans. Now Smith can't go to Ben Smith, although he's making his way out of retirement. I do see Ben Smith going to get another opportunity in Japan, I want to say it is. But now Smith goes back to Marty Banks, switches it with the hands the way that he used it. He does prefer that right hand pass. So he said Arcee right on the ball, unable to turn it over, but now a lot of pressure. It's a penalty advantage now for the Highlanders for Tulipaia. Off to Hugh Renton. Billy is 20 in there. Until he wasn't, not a mile off for that one. Now Connor Garden-Bishop rushed defence on him by Balin Sullivan with a great tackle. 25 minutes through and still another 14 minutes left of that red card. So pretty much the whole first half, the Highlanders, for the rest of it, they are going to have to play with only the 14 men out on the field for Tulipaia. First receiver, little chip and chase here. Goes straight to Geordie Barrett. He's dropped it again, but they will be going back for the initial penalty. And I feel the Highlanders, even though they're missing one of their locks, they still need to go for the line out here, because getting an extra 3, yes, it would be nice for them. It's not a give me, though, for Marty Banks from close to the touchline. Poor Rackety Stones tackler not releasing is the penalty that he has against him. But yeah, who do you guys think will win between Exeter Chiefs and Munster for that matchup? I feel Munster at home should be able to do it, but it's always tricky in a match of the Champions Cup to that kind of, I guess, level of intensity, and wrap your Christmas presents, and it'll prevent a bad Christmas present. And the SSC and also, hey bro, hope you had some sleep. Josh from the Netherlands, keep up the good work. Says Josh, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Currently 10 metres out from the line. The Highlanders are going to have another opportunity, and also there's a lot of brothers playing. There sure are 2 Savias versus 2 Evans versus a Peter Umaga Jensen versus a Thomas Umaga Jensen versus a Connor Garden-Bishop versus a Jackson Garden-Bishop. I think those are all the brothers that we've got out on the field, which is a lot. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. I think everyone else are not brothers. Now Jermaine Ainsley waiting for that ball at the back instead. Offloads it, just a little pop pass. Now off to Liam Coltman. I mean, told to use it once, and they are going sideways currently, so they won't be too far off needing to use this one. A damn battle with the brothers tonight. It certainly is. Now going back to Marty Banks. Cross kick. It's gone high. Scott Gregory wants it. He doesn't take it clean, though. And I was a real good there. I used to play as a right defensiveman in ice hockey. I spent a lot of time in the sin bin. 2 minutes here for hooking. 2 minutes there. High tackling hello. And there says, Yana, what did George say about the Crusaders last night? He wasn't too happy with their performance. It looks like Scott Gregory now is down with some sort of either hip or hamstring injury here. Doesn't look too flash from him. I think he landed quite heavily. It was a good cross kick from Marty Banks. They went up high. He went up for it. I want to see how he lands. Oh, okay. I think he might have just jarred it as he went down. Blues had a nice one yesterday. They sure did. Or awkward angle, I think it was, for Scott Gregory. Okay, like they say, no foul play against Josh Morby, but still not a fun landing for Gregory. It looks like he's going to be all right now, but it's going to be a goal line dropout for the Hurricanes. And the Highlanders, they're still on good attack currently. Kicking off long from Jackson Garden-Bishop down to halfway. Kicks it to his brother Connor Garden-Bishop. That is about 4 times we have seen that take place. It's us brothers versus brothers. It sure is. Don't forget, everybody, Easter is for, Jesus, not for the chocolate, says Justin. And also we have got there that looks sore. Says, yeah, the way that he landed it just looked very awkward on the thigh, but now it goes out to James Lynch as he looked on his outside to look for Gregory, but he's still moving a little bit gingerly. Uh-oh, you've got a Safamoa Adi Savia on you, and it's going to be very tricky to be able to keep the ball on the side of the brothers. And as I said, Justin, yeah, plenty of them now. It's going to be a little bit ahead of the kicker. I would argue that Gregory was, or sorry, Sam Gilbert was, but the ball's still going to be bouncing back on the side of the Highlanders. Now looking to the short side, Aaron Smith kicks it in behind, straight into touch. Decides that it will be useful for the territory game there. I'm watching Palmy boys first versus St. Paul's game today. The 9 for Palmy is a hybrid 9 and 7 heat in the past and great turnover ability, says Manly for life. Do you have a name of a Manly? Do let me know. Also, I did see there was a game. Wow, Ethan de Groot taking that ball with one hand there. Getting them only 10 metres out, so a great turnover at the line out time. Now James Lynch is cutting across. They're only a few metres out here now for them. Who wants it? It's going to be Thomas Umaga Jensen. Got Jermaine Ainsley on his side. And I mention it all the time, but I think Jermaine Ainsley deserves a try. He's been working hard for his side for a very long time. Now goes across, quick pop pass, back to Marty Banks, attack and run from Connor Garden-Bishop, trying to go straight through. But yeah, one of the games in the New Zealand competition, that's a penalty to Isaiah Walker-Leawere. Yeah, has been able to get that turnover. But yeah, one of the games was about 90-0 or something along those lines. And yep, 2-1 on the same team. This is Paddy Wagon. Oh, sorry, that was Novmum. Oh, no, it was Paddy Wagon. But and also, I was from Palmy Boys. And yeah, it says Paddy Wagon, but that one's gone into touch. Good kick downfield from the Hurricanes. What happens here? Marty Banks goes off to Garden-Bishop, and he didn't have any options to pass. He had to run it forward. Blake Gibson on him. And then Isaiah Walker-Leawere here has got long arms. He gets right on. Are you doing the 7 same? I sure am. I haven't set up the live streams yet, though, just because or else then there'd be like 20 or so that were set. But we're doing about 10 or so games of the 7s as well, alongside hopefully Munster versus the Exeter Chiefs. And also Landers need more ball playing in the forwards tight loose. Call on Smith to let it happen. And this is Remu. And yeah, if they can get themselves a little bit more position, definitely with only the 14 men on the field, it would be pretty useful. And also we have got there Denny Lewis that said, Hamish, didn't you play rugby with Cullen Grace? I did not. I actually played cricket with him instead, funny enough. But no rugby. George played rugby against him, though. So, yeah, George played rugby against him. I played cricket against him. And now he plays for the Crusaders and the All Blacks. Taken nicely from Jackson Garden-Bishop. Wrestled down to the ground. Connor Garden-Bishop, it was him making the tackle. Those two seem like they just are going to go out there and give it 110%. Great low tackle on Poiti. Rickety Stone's taking them right round the bootlaces there. Penalty to the Highlanders, right. Straight out in front. And Rangatiki College. This is Justin. Liam Coltman now being able to get straight over the ball, not releasing penalty. They will take on the 3 this time for the Highlanders. They've decided that this one is a freebie 3. As long as Marty Banks strikes it all right, though. Tony Brown, he will be nervous for this game, definitely. With the fact that they are only going to have the 14 men on the field for the next little while. But Liam Coltman, it's a gifted 3. He gets a big pat on the head like he is a good boy from Aaron Smith and Marty Banks now. Only has a pretty accurate kick. There are a whole heap of Pink The Hits hats for the radio station. I'm not too sure whether or not they were given those out or whether those kids all bought them. Who's that guy? I don't know who that man is. It wasn't the one who was coming back out onto the field, but it's the one next to it. And also you from Rangatiki. And as I says, Richard, I assume that it's to Justin. And I was like, come on, Canes, let's go. Says Paddy Wagon. Now Highlanders lining it up. Oh, it might actually be the referee who I'm looking at. About to make his way back out. It's Tavita Mafaleo for the Hurricanes. And also you from Rangatiki College. That goes straight over from Marty Banks. And now the score is sitting 14 points to 6 here between the two sides. And they are currently loving it. The crowd at the Forsyth Barr Stadium. I almost said Orange Theory Stadium. But, of course, that was where Christchurch, or that was where the Crusaders played. I'm having a shocker with my words, aren't I? So TJP was going to be an All Black 1 year before he was an All Black. His reply was, thanks, brother. I'm working hard for it. And I will get it. Much love, TJP. And as I said, Justin also got against says Tesla. Now it's going to be kicked into touch by the Highlanders. It was just inside of the 22. So now the Hurricanes have got themselves in a line-out throw. Now that way, keep asking, bro. And as I says, Betty. He might have been from the same area, from Martin. As I says, Richard. Now, Isaiah Walker-Leawere, it would be smart to lift him up for this line-out, possibly. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or something, but I assume it'll be quite easy for you to get Cullen on the channel in a similar way that you did with Norm. Maybe. It would be, I guess it depends on contract obligations, because I know that I talked to one of the Australian players during the Bledisloe Cup kind of stage, and they mentioned about how media-wise they're not actually allowed to do any outside interviews other than like kind of the ones that they have got approved. So I assume for the Crusaders it would be pretty similar as well, but who knows? Maybe we can try one day. He probably, I mean, I'd like to think he'd remember me, maybe. Like, it wasn't that long ago that we were on the same team, but it would be an interesting one. That's a good kick downfield from Connor Garden-Bishop. And also we have got the Do You Prefer Rugby Challenge 4 or Rugby 22? Probably Rugby 22 currently, but we did a video me and George on Rugby Challenge 4, and it was a lot of fun. We did a whole new concept that hasn't been done on the game before, and it was interesting, to say the least. That will be coming out midweek or early next week, so be sure to keep an eye out for that on this main channel. And also, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Extras if you want to see me or more of me and George doing real-life random shenanigans. That is the place to find it, and it is the pinned comment. But now, passing across, good run forward from Josh Morby. He has been impressive since making his way into the Hurricanes. That is going to be the penalty advantage. Right. This is Geordie Barrett's distance, but I would love to see them kick it for the corner. What do? Garden Bishop's got the ball in, and we know that his goal kicking is normally questionable. Oh, now Perenara is pointing at Geordie Barrett. He's saying kick for the corner. Okay, I'm liking it. Geordie Barrett, he's got the bleeding nose, so he's like, mate, I'm not kicking it at this stage. And I was like, we've got the Hamish and Cullen, our Facebook friends. I believe we are, I think. And I was like, I see, well, as long as he doesn't infringe, or it doesn't infringe his contract conditions, and I kicked out in Palmy all the time. And there's us, says Justin, and also we've got the burger, the fries, the beers. And the good old late night Macca's run seems to be something that's quite popular around these parts. Currently, the tackles made, 51 made by the Hurricanes, but the big stat there, 94% tackle completion compared to the 74% of the Highlanders, which means if they put enough phases together, they're more than likely going to go over here for the Hurricanes. Safamo about to throw on this one. He's looking tired. Safamo breathing rather deeply for himself currently. So, and keep the gap going. I don't know whether or not he's much of a rolling maul man at the back of a rolling maul. That sometimes go to him, I believe. Okay, he has got it now. It's looking pretty good for a Safamo as long as they keep on marching it forward. TJ Perenara actually joining in there. Do not change your mind as a comment from the referee finds the offload up to Artie Savia, who now drops his head only 5 minutes out. Our rugby team never lost one game season, the Invincibles. And as I said, Justin now around the side. Quick recycle ball. That was close to Pori Rakini Stones, I believe. Going over. He's held up. It's a goal line dropout now. But a good attack and run. And good wherewithal. Oh, it was a Safamoa who almost went over there. I thought it was Pori Rakini Stones at first glance. But a Safamoa, the powerful man. A few of the Highlanders are actually down at the moment. I see at least 2 players. Liam Coltman being one. 3 minutes left of that yellow card, or the red card. In fact, it's going to take a huge toll on the body. It was a good leg drive from Amua, a brilliant defense from Liam Coltman once again to be able to stop any chance of Amua being able to put it down. Now, Gareth Evans taking some deep breaths. At the moment, the Highlanders, they are being pushed for stamina. Liam Coltman currently down with some sort of leg injury as well. There's been a lot of leg injuries throughout this matchup, and also we've got their Let's Go Canes. Here's Paddy Wagon, but currently only 8 points difference between the two sides of Safamoa. You'd have to wonder, is that his last chance of being able to score a try, or will he get another chance in the early stages of the second half and just injure the Highlanders? And there's Paddy. No, they got enough injuries already. I don't think you want to injure them too much in this game. Rather just beat them on the scoreboard. Hurricanes currently sitting on 20. If they win this game, they go above the Chiefs, and they will move up to 5th. And then the Chiefs will drop down to 6th, the Waratahs down to 7th, and Amua nearly scored and there's Sebastian, he sure did. And also my prediction for this week, Chiefs, Force, Blues, Reds, Brumbies, Crusaders in there as well. So the Chiefs, they are playing up against the Waratahs, aren't they? The Force, that's an awkward bouncing ball. The Force have got themselves the Highlanders, maybe. Oh, that was a big shot on Geordie Barrett. I'm passing it back across. Or do the Brumbies have the Highlanders? But I know that they play on the Friday night anyway, and you got it wrong. And this is petty for that one. He doesn't like the fact that you have said that the Hurricanes are not going to win their game. And I was like, there, come on, Hurricanes. Says Justin there, it's a penalty against Pori Rakini Stones, and Canes are beating the Reds. And there says Paddy Wagon for that one. Although happening over there in Melbourne's going to be a tough game, that is for sure. Currently now, Marty Banks does get the opportunity to kick it for the touchline once again. And also, long as the Chiefs win, and it's Brumbies versus Highlanders. Okay, so it must be Moana Pacifica versus the Force, is it? I think that is the other game that is going to be taking place on that Friday night. So we've got 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and then no 7s. But the URC, I believe, is back, which is going to be nice news. All right, so yeah, the coach for the Hurricanes, I think it was not too happy for that one. Currently, like they're saying, the Hurricanes, they haven't really done too much since getting a man advantage for the last 20 minutes. And also Chiefs and Canes when I'm happy. And there's us, says Batty Wagon, but now going to be thrown in this one. Liam Coltman goes to the back, taken nicely. Now waiting for him to come down. Nicely done by the Highlanders. Good attack and run from it was Big Hugh Renton. A late injection into the side due to the injury, I believe it is, of Marino Makaele too. Now Gareth Evans round the side once again. Still available for them. Smith looking out wide for Tuli Paya. Does drop himself towards the line. He's knocked it on though. He's had a bit of a shocker there. Peranara under pressure, and they are going back for the scrum feed in favour of the Hurricanes, but a mistake early on, unfortunately, from Fatuli Paya. Got whacked just around that kind of midsection range, right on the ball. Ended up popping it out of his hands, but currently 35 seconds left of the man advantage of the Aussie teams matchup this year. Says Fleshin, to an extent, I think they do. I'm looking forward to seeing the Waratahs, because last year the Waratahs were just the side that really got beaten badly. Same with the Rebels. To an extent, the Western Force, after their first couple of rounds, also had a little bit of trouble at times. But for me, the Waratahs have come a long way in the last 12 months, which is why I'm hoping they also have a good experience up against the New Zealand sides. Like last year, it was the case of who will be the Australian side to actually win up against New Zealand. But now it's the question of how many wins are they going to be able to get? Because for me, they're getting at least probably 5 to 10. And then I come on, Denny says Max, although Denny was taken off the field earlier on due to an injury. So instead now it is for Tuli Paya, who is out there. And also, hi, buddy. Says David the Mod, and also come on, Canes. And there's us, says Des Lover. David the Mod, question for you, Exeter or Munster? Who you going with in that game? It's a home game for Munster at Thorntman Park. They are going to be playing. And now currently waiting for it. And also, is it still the 30th minute? It is not. My scoreboard just sometimes goes to sleep. It is actually almost halftime. Hurricanes kick it into touch. And now sitting at halftime here, it is 14 points to the Hurricanes and 6 to the Highlanders. So they were down to 14 men due to that red card of Josh Dixon, but still able to stay in this match. I'll have to wait and see exactly how it ends up going. But the Hurricanes all jogging off the field, whereas the Highlanders only walking. They've had to work a lot harder in that first half to try and stay in this game, the Highlanders, as the Hurricanes have put them under immense pressure, including the try of Balin Sullivan, which did open us off, and then also Salisi Rayasi. Mate, Munster, Hamish, home of ground advantage, says David the Mod. Yeah, that's going to be a good one, that's for sure. And then we've got plenty of sevens coming up. I will let you guys know roughly what games of the sevens we are going to be covering on the channel for the upcoming ones. I've got a few of them ticked and a few of them as maybes, but currently I'll let you know the ones that have got the tick of we will 90% likely be doing those games. And Hamish, do you think you can get Cullen Grace on the channel? It would be tricky due to the contract side of things, but maybe in the off season it might be doable. There's a David Smoketime says Tesla, and also Brumbies versus Crusaders in GIO Stadium will be good. It certainly will be in Winston Peters. And this is Justin for that one. But currently looking through at the sevens fixtures that are coming up just around the corner. Right. So we are going to be doing Samoa versus Wales, New Zealand versus Japan, USA versus Kenya, Fiji versus England, South Africa versus Spain, Australia versus Canada is a maybe. And that one, then also alongside that, we've got Samoa, Japan, New Zealand, Wales, Fiji, Kenya, South Africa, Canada, New Zealand, Samoa, Kenya, England, Fiji, USA, and Australia, South Africa. How many was that? There was quite a few, wasn't it? If I'm not wrong. And I was looking at how's it, bro, says David, and also Exeter might just upset Munster. There's a chance. They look good, but it was pretty well done by both of those sides to limit the amount of points that were scored in that first leg, because we've seen it so many times. That first leg can be so crucial for them. And the Kiwi Adventure lad, or the Kiwi Adventure kid, sorry, has said, hi, Kiwi lads, welcome into the live stream. I hope you're doing well. And need a big second half, says Tristan there. And also, I'm all right, says Max. I'm just going to have a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I'm going to have to start from the start because it was life's too big, or life's too big to get a good deal. And there's us, says Justin. Currently now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not too bad. 13. Might as well make it 14 if we do Australia, Canada. And then, yeah, plenty of coming up on the channel for the sevens. Ozamani has seen better days. And there, as I says, Betty, currently now just waiting for the second half to get underway between these two sides. I'm a Kiwi lad, And there says Justin as well. For me, the second half, the first 10 minutes is going to shape this matchup. If the Hurricanes can score quick and score well, then they should be able to run away with it just enough to be able to keep them in the lead. Whereas if the Highlanders score first, we got the game right on our hands, and it could easily go either way between the two sides. But currently, red cards have been pretty prominent throughout the early stages. Bristol versus Sale was a mad game last night. It was, like, to an extent, the first game was also mad, just the way that it was so close, and then that last-minute try for Bristol. But then, what was the score on that one yesterday? Like 35 points to 28 or 27 or something like that. It was just back and forth at its finest. And I don't think Exeter can pose a threat at Thorntman. I must ask something else at home, says Sebastian. So, yeah, it is going to be exciting to see exactly who is able to get themselves a win in that game. So that game is starting at 2 p.m. That's a lie. It's starting at 2 a.m. And when that one starts, that will be our start of a 12-hour rugby gauntlet that we have got coming up on the channel. I'm going to get a few occasional little breaks just so that I can have food and refreshments and whatnot. But other than that, we are sevens right through to tomorrow afternoon. And then alongside that, we're going to have George round for an editing, or not an editing, a filming session, I should say. A Manly 12-0 against the Titans after 17 minutes in cards and scores. And there says Fleshin. And yeah, I did see Fuff the Clerk got the first card of the match, didn't he, for the Sale Sharks. But they have gone through, and I've actually got the one that tells us who plays who. I'll get that up quickly for you guys while we are here at halftime. But currently, the way that the table sits, the Chiefs were able to promote themselves up a little bit further. But if the Hurricanes win, then they will push the Chiefs back down to sitting in 6th, which would still be pretty decent for the Chiefs at this stage of the competition. So these are the ones of who is going to be playing who. So whoever wins this game between Munster and Exeter then has to go on to face Ulster or Toulouse. Whereas the Harlequins, if they win their game up against Montpellier, it will be La Rochelle or Bordeaux, and Racing 92 or Stade Francais for Sale Sharks now. And Leinster versus Leicester could be what we get to see, which will always be a tongue twister with how similar those two sides are with their names. But these are the benches for this matchup. Hurricanes for the win. How are you, sir? It's David Amod. And now I will quickly go like this. There we go. I've just sent George a message to make sure he is still coming around tonight, because or else then I will probably forget when we get to a slightly later stage of the night. But for me, off the bench for the Hurricanes, Peter Umaga-Jensen, he's going to be a good one to add in there. Justin Sangster, he's been playing pretty well since coming onto the scene for the Hurricanes. Then for the Highlanders, Billy Harmon. I don't know how match fit he'll be. I assume he is right up there, but he hasn't played in a long time, so there could be a little bit of rust there for him. Fatuli Pai already out on the field, and same with Max Hicks due to that red card. So for Lau Whakatawa, he normally adds a little bit of that late injection. And TJ Oni is indeed. He did start this match at number 9. So they will have Jamie Booth coming off the bench in the later stages and doing well. Master David, thank you. And there as well, says Sebastian. Currently, they are just talking through a few of the stats. The territory and the position both went in favour of the Highlanders for that first half. They had quite a few kicks between the two sides here. And most of the time, it's been Connor Garden-Bishop receiving the ball from Jackson Garden-Bishop. But Julian Savia, he's been looking strong throughout this game. He's been looking like the bus that we knew from about 2015 or so. Does seem like he's just going very nicely. 4 defeats beaten, 3 carries, 23 metres gained, and 2 line breaks for him, and almost scored the try, other than the fact that he did just end up putting it down in a great tackle from Gareth Evans. Early territory is 50-50. The Highlanders, they have had less possession, though, with 43%. And also we've got that. And here's something interesting. All 3 of the Duprea brothers were in the starting lineup for Sale last night. Nice. Something that we didn't really get to see in the Springbok. How we didn't get to see Dan Duprea or also Robert Duprea. Here's another one, although he wasn't in the Springbok side. It's Dan, Robert, and the other fellow. Dan, Robert, and who's the other one? And Love Sale in there. Jean-Luc, Dan and Robert, that is the other name, Jean-Luc, that I was forgetting. And also we've got their Love Sale, says Gareth, and also hi, says Amelia, welcome in. The Livestream I, Kiwi Lads, love you. As does the Kiwi Lad, the Kiwi Adventure Kid. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying the live stream so far, mate. We've got plenty more coming tonight. Good to have the bus back in full bus mode. And there says Paddy Wagon, yeah, the only thing that he has got left that he's got to try and do is make his way back out. They've actually got a timer there for the Highlanders showing them how likely or how much time they've got left in the halftime break, just having a bit of a rest, having a chat. The forwards in one group, the backs in the other. And I think the thing is you probably want to have a group where both of those guys are together, because at the end of the day, you're going to need that link up between your 9 and 10 and also those big loose forwards to really have a good chance. But currently, TJ Perenata walking around. Corey Jane just stole a lolly off the table, I think it was. I thought he was reaching for a piece of fruit, but he went, no, I'll have myself a gummy bear, thanks. And also, there's Stormont and Otago at the moment. Conditions are severe. And there as well, says Tesla. Nice. I feel like that one, it works well, but then they're inside of a stadium that has a roof. But I do like it. I like the puns. You got any other ones for this matchup between the Highlanders and the Hurricanes? Do let me know. And also we have got there, Hamish, who do you think are potential guys who can make All Blacks debut this year? For me, I've got a short list. I've got Leicester Whainā-Nuku. I've also got Peter Solakula. Might be able to get himself in there at number 8. Alongside that, for lock-wise, I feel like we might see another youngster make his way into the side. Possibly, maybe even you could look at a Tom Christie as a loose forward option. But backline-wise, I'd love to see a Sullivan in there, but I don't think they're quite there yet. They're just still very young. And so Sharks basically just recruited from Natal Sharks to keep so easy to keep track of the players. And also SAL do have that South African call. They sure do. And also 34-25. And this says Brandon. And also hi David Mod, says Gareth. And also hi Brandon, says David. But nonetheless, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, one player that is not going to score a try in the second half. Or, in fact, one player who's not going to score the first try of the second half. And I was like, yes, are depending exclusively on South African power. And they've been all right since still a little devout about the loss last night, but still proud of him. Just trying to rest as much as possible ahead of Super Rugby round next week. And, yeah, it was a good performance from the Rebels. I think they've come a long way in just the last few weeks, which is pretty awesome to see. And hopefully they have a good game up against Crusaders, because it is going to be the home crowd advantage for that matchup as well. But Geordie Barrett, I think he's going to score throughout this match. He just seems like he's a good option for this one. But so far, only the 2 tries in this match, Balin Sullivan, and also it was the other side of things, which was Salisa Arce. I forgot his name for a second there on the bus to score first in the second half. Good run for you, Kiwi lads. Do you check? And this is Brandon. I didn't actually get a chance in between the live streams. I was flat out making the thumbnails for the 7. So I do apologize for that in advance, but you can check on your other account whether or not it is scheduled. I make YouTube videos with us at the Kiwi Lad, or sorry, the Kiwi Adventure Kid. Sorry, I keep on saying Kiwi Lad. I feel like that's just reflex of the tongue, isn't it? And be proud of Amelia. That was a very admirable performance against the Reds. I gave the boys a round of applause. I don't think we will beat the Crusaders, but it definitely gives me a reason. We won't go down without a fight next week. Yeah, hopefully that is the case. And that one, is that actually a case? That might have been a case harvester that they are showing at the moment on the screen, which is really weird timing because I just said Case Whainā-Nuku is an awesome player. I can't get much game time with the Crusaders, says Danny. And something that I think as soon as he develops his offload and passing game, he will be lethal. But until then, he sometimes does get a little bit of that white line fever, decides to go himself. And also, I do check now, yes. And there says Brandon, so was it there for yourself, Brandon? Also, can you check me out, the Kiwi Lad? The Kiwi Adventure Kid. Sorry, I keep on saying lad in there as well, don't I? And also, we got the back in Rebels to win. And there says Paddy Wagon. And currently, the Rebels, I mean, if they beat the Crusaders, that would be absolutely huge for them. At the moment, almost there for the second half. Another player who it's unfortunate that we don't get to see him in the second half, Denny Solomona, got injured pretty early on. I believe he got a kick to the face, and that is what stopped him from being able to go back out there. And alongside that, he did also have the injury of, there was another injury earlier on, but I don't think he stayed out. It was Tavita Mafaleo, who was off the field for a little while for the HIA, but he did make his way back out there. And someone who won't be making his way back out there, Josh Dixon, it was a red card for him for the shoulder charge. Didn't wrap the arms. So because of that, it does mean that he has unfortunately got himself off the field. I know your YouTube channel, Kiwi Adventure Kids. I did well there. I didn't say the lads afterwards. I feel like it's just become such a reflex, hasn't it? Currently now, the 7s, and it's just around the corner as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you do enjoy a bit of 7s. And also, we have got Munster versus the Exeter Chiefs coming up later on, alongside the Waratahs taking on the next side that is taking place, and that is Waratahs versus Western Force. And Aussie, so good Kiwi lads, appreciate you, mate. And also I got photos with Tate McDermott, Cobus, Eloff, and Taniela Tupou last night. Some of the Rebels players were giving out some bags of chalky Easter eggs last night after the game. And there says Amelia. Yeah, nice, fitting way to start an Easter weekend, I guess. But yeah, Taniela Tupou and Cobus Eloff, they would have been, how big was Taniela Tupou in person compared to Tate McDermott? Because I feel like there'd be quite the difference in size. And also, Watch Us ran across the pitch, looked like an alien. And as I says Tesla, currently now, we'll wait to see what we get to see. I think, is it going to show me? I think I'm behind a little bit. Okay, they're showing the coach of the Hurricanes, so I don't think he is the one that you were talking about. But currently, the Highlanders yet to get themselves over the try line. I thought Taniela Tupou had eaten all the chalky eggs. And there says Sebastian, also a very good question. Possibly to ask the man, not to his face, though. I feel like he would break you in half and then break you in half again. And Kane's to win, says Luke. And this one, they've got a decent chance, perhaps, to be able to get themselves the win here. But a massive win for the Blues yesterday, given the North Island. Actually, that's the thing. If they win this one, I believe it's all North Island wins for Super Rugby. Although saying that, you could argue that Chiefs, Moana, and Pacific are both North Island sides. GJ to finish the try last minute. And there says Luke, and also watch on a different source, Hamish, not the Sky Sports one. Says there's and also Roman Nu'u came up to me and gave me one of the bags with chalky Easter eggs, says Amelia. Nice. So he's Rebel Centre, isn't he? Did he at least give you a photo in the process, or was it just a quick wee Easter eggs and off type situation? And also we have got there halftime, it just shows the field the whole time. And there says I see. And also, I'm not here tomorrow. I'll be live for the Rugby Sevens, and also Crusaders win Super Rugby again. And Scotty Rowo gets snaffled by Wales to carry on our development of Kiwi coaches, says Flesh. And it would be a great test for him. And I feel like it's one of those ones. I think even George has said this as a Crusader supporter. Like, Crusaders win titles, but Crusaders have got an insane lineup. So if you give him a side that aren't doing so well, can he turn them around into champions as well? Or is it because of how good the Crusaders are to start with that it does help them out? And also the Blues broke a drought. And there says David Lamont, 14 games in a row they have lost at Orange Theory Stadium. And I didn't ask, I was too nervous to anyways. And there says Amelia, at least you got one with Taniela Tupou, Tate McDermott, and also Cobus Eloff, though. Eloff, the inform number 3, you'd have to argue with the competition, although Taniela Tupou also up there. So can George come tomorrow, says Brandon. He will be around tomorrow, although I don't think he will be joining me for any live streams. I think he's coming around after the sevens, as he has got something to do in the morning, and then after that, he will be able to come round. But now, nice run from Gareth Evans. Pop pass up to Thomas Umaga Jensen. Fens off the bus. Now looking up for the offload and play the North itself again. It was faulted and rigged. Allow kicking face to turn over the ball. And as I says, Luke, but now it is going to be taken nicely. And great question, Irish, great question. And there, nice run from Salisi Rayasi. Someone trying to keep up with them. I don't think they're going to be able to, although Marty Banks with a good bit of cover defence. And he has been able to take that one very nicely on his 22. And also North itself again rigged. And there, as I says, so I assume that is because of the fact that the South won it, possibly. They aren't too happy about it. But now currently 22 metres out. What time is the Rugby Sevens? It starts at 4 a.m. today. And that is going to be the first matchup between, I think it is France versus Argentina. The Satyrs were great, but he's made them better. And there says Flesh, and exactly right. So can he turn a side? This sounds very harsh the way I was about to word that. I was going to say, can he turn a side like Wales into Six Nations champions once again? There we go. So, yeah, George is going to come around tomorrow afternoon for a filming session. We have got a long night ahead of us. Geordie Barrett goes across to Jackson Garden Basher. Salisi Rayasi bounce pass off to Julian Savia one-on-one. In fact, it became a 2-on-1, and he still made his way almost through them. He's still waiting for it. TJ Perenara recycling the ball quite nicely. Artie Savia, nice pop pass on the inside. Now Perenara unable to take that one cleanly. It's a knock-on from him. Now firing it back. Marty Banks looking like he was going to be kicking it. Now tries to go straight through the gap. Offloads it back to, it was Hugh Renton. They're under a huge amount of pressure here. And Wales might win the Six Nations. Yep. And there, as I said, look, it is going back for the scrum feed now in favour of the Highlanders. Currently, it's going to be a tricky one for the Highlanders because they haven't been able to get over the try line. And I think that's a big thing mentality-wise. If you get over the try line early in a half, you think, right, we've done that. That was easy. We'll do it again. But if you have gone about 70 minutes without going over, it's always very tricky. And also, what are you guys filming tomorrow? I believe the goal is to get some FIFA filmed and also maybe some Rugby 22 or Rugby Challenge 4 will be the other one that we have got coming up. And also, either way, I've had a blast last night. I'm really proud of the Rebels for the way that they played. Yeah, they were very impressive in that fixture. Those Northern Hemisphere teams don't have the same rugby culture like us, so I reckon it's hard. Says David the Modern. Also, you must be lucky I'm coming too. And there says Brandon, hi to my house. Do you know where I live, Brandon? So if you do, I don't think I've ever mentioned it in terms of the exact address. So you've probably done some very extensive. Oh, your live stream. Okay, that makes more sense for that one. But currently now it is going to be Aaron Smith firing it back across Marty Banks. Now off to Fatuli Pike. Great low tackle on in by Geordie Barrett. Hasn't really missed too many throughout this game, but that can be said about the whole Hurricanes lineup. They have been very precise. Will Jordan North himself was offside, and he hit the player in the face with his leg rigged. And there says Luke as well. And I was like, well, Scotty did rock up in Wales. I would fancy us over a Jones lead England any day. And they have now a nice run forward. Thomas Umunga Jensen going through. Great tackle from Blake Gibson. Passes it back now. Little knock on or forward pass, in fact, there. Once again, another little mistake from the Highlanders. It's going to be tricky for them. Like I mentioned, momentum is a wonderful thing in a game of rugby, and they do not have it at the moment. Kiriru Symes, he will be coming off the bench and at the later stages of this one. The only player in the lineup that wasn't actually there for the day that they did take the photos by the looks of it, as he has got the old kit on. Looks like Ethan de Groot got a little bit of a cut on the cheek. He doesn't mind too much, so probably didn't even feel it when it happened. James Blackwell and Isaiah Walker-Leawero, one of those two I think will be able to do well. I always support those videos you and George do. George's language is very colourful. It's extremely colourful. And the video that we've got coming out early next week, it's a main channel video and it's got colourful in there. So I'm going to have to do a lot of censoring, and Aussie Eddie Jones seriously has to piss off. I'm tired of his muck in there, says Sebastian. Also, I'm absolutely buzzing for Super Rugby Round next week. I'm going to all 3 days and I'm going to rush home on Friday from my apprenticeship. Yeah, but nicely taken by Salisi Rahashi to the short side. And also, we've got there go Hurricanes, Amari Harmony and Respect Nature. And as says Luke, and also we have got there, what do you think I'm going to say? I don't know you lived. You didn't know I lived, or I don't know, or you don't know where I live. I assume that is for that one. But now for Tuli Pai, they've got this ball back for the Highlanders. There's a knock on the ground and another scrum feed. Quite a few scrums coming for us in the early stages of the second half by the looks of it. Tony Brown, he's disappointed. He's saying, if boys watch the ball, I think is what he just mentioned there. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just going through everyone's hands. You can't blame the dew on the field because of the fact that there shouldn't be too much of it, but it was knocked out of the hands of Geordie Barrett with a good shot to the ribcage. And you want to know when I lived, I would prefer if you didn't put your address in the chat, just because, I mean, some people will use that. I think so. I prefer if you didn't have it. I live in Park, Targo, NZJK. And there, as I says, like, and also that idea of the South has a better rugby culture isn't true. We just have different ways. And there says Fleshin. But the group off the field now, and that will be for Daniel Leonard-Brown, and also Liam Coltman making his way off the field, and his replacement, Andrew Makaleo. So they've still left Jermaine Ainsley out there for a bit longer. And also we've got the Never. And there, as I says, Luke, and also go the Canes. And there, as I says, Tesla. Currently now it is going to be the scrum feed here for the opportunity for the Highlanders. They need a try, and they need it before 55 minutes, I would say, if they want a good chance of winning this game. They're always close at Sky Stadium. That's a lie. At Forsyth Barr Stadium, they are always close, I should say. Now the ball coming out the back. I believe that's going to be, yes, it is a penalty to the Hurricanes. Nicely done. TJ Perenara takes the quick tap. He wasn't watching the referee. It could have been a good opportunity. And also, I got a gift for you tomorrow at 3 p.m. on More Brandon, and never give you address information, have common sense. And there as well says Luke, yeah, because that's the thing. You never know who's going to give it. And also, don't put your address on the feed, buddy, just to be safe. Says David the Mod. It's even like nowadays you can't even have like your email address anywhere, like, because someone will take it and try and just do something with it and go, Hurricane says JMS. And that's one currently Geordie Barrett. I think it's a kick opportunity. More than likely, or else they give it to Garden Bishop, I believe. Right, the Hurricanes. They're showing Jermaine Ainsley, but 40 metres out, they are going to go for the three-pointer here once again. 28 kicks in general play over 48 minutes. That is quite a lot. To have probability of this kick going over is 68%. I would argue that 42 metres out for Geordie Barrett. you're probably looking at about 81. And I was, do you want to know when I lived? Sounds like a horror movie title. You might have to write that one down. That's for a future one on TJ. As a good play, strong, and exploits mistakes. Respects refs. I reckon he's the best scrum in the world, TJ. And as I'm currently lining up this kick for Geordie Barrett, the ball has fallen over. A little bit of an anticlimax there from. You ready for kick? I mean, how did it fall off the tee? If there is no wind, Geordie Barrett strikes it straight down the middle, and that will now make the score 17 points to the Hurricanes and 6 to the Highlanders. I don't watch Horrors, and there says Luke, and also we've got there. It's weird that one day of Super Round, I'm sitting up high. Day 2 and 3, I'm in the front row. Says Amelia there, and Uncle's here switching back forward between Manly and the Hurricanes. And there, as I says, Uncle. So hopefully you are enjoying both games. I know that Manly started very well up against the Titans, didn't they? And TJ not going to be in the All Blacks. And there, as I says, Brandon, I believe he will make his way in for this Irish tour, at least at the minimum. How many videos have you got ready to be uploaded in there, says Danny Lewis. At this stage, uploaded-wise, I don't think I've got too many. I've probably, like, videos that were filmed that haven't been edited, probably in the 100, somewhere around there. And it is just a case of needing to get through all of them slowly. But we will be filming a few videos tomorrow. So I think that will give us a few extra. In fact, I've got one video that's half edited that is going up on the channel early next week. It's probably the best representation of one that's ready. But currently, Daniel Leonard-Brown carries ball 40 metres out here for the Highlanders. Now Aaron Smith goes for the kick behind, looking for the territory game. It's going to be sitting up quite nicely. Just goes into touch, though. And now will be the line out for the Hurricanes. 48 minutes into this game. And there is a points differential of 11 between the two sides in place for the All Blacks. Probably hasn't been selected recently. And then also Sakahara Martin Henderson's new movie is a horror movie. I'm only watching because Martin is in it now. I'm counting down the days when I finally get to watch it. Says Amelia. That's going to be nicely done there. Brilliant work by the Hurricanes. Or in fact, sorry, the Highlanders. And now they have got that ball back for another line-out opportunity. So it's pretty much a straight turn over there. And representation for what, Hamish? Representation for what, Hamish? What? What's that for, Lee? That's kind of come out of nowhere, hasn't it? Oh, the good representation of how much stuff I've got edited. Okay. And also a few names, new names for the games. I don't recognize them yet. It's my team as well, says DSB. So probably someone like I guess off the bench, even Balin Sullivan to an extent probably isn't really someone you've seen too much. Now, Thomas Umaga Jensen going to be trying to drive his way forward. J. Martin Henderson. He's been a New Zealand actors for a while now. And also, what are the Kiwis' thoughts on the Irish tour? Confident, a bit nervous, very nervous for myself. Well, they won, but currently only 10 metres out from the line here for the Highlanders, continuing to build their way forward. The likes of Kiriru Science probably hasn't really had too many opportunities in the past. And I say, hey, horror films too. I start hearing every screech, all the noises you don't usually notice. You have to drink yourself to sleep. Backline movement here, taking the step for Tulipai, almost able to pierce straight through. Last time he took a run, Isaiah Walker-Leawere was the man who was able to make his way straight through the middle and was able to get the turnover. Now straight into the hands of Max Hicks. So we'll go on. And also you must have a lot of content, not enough edited there. But yeah, it's pretty much too much to edit in time type thing. Like I get through the lineup once not too badly each week. And then alongside that, we've got a couple other videos that normally go in. And you're intelligent and strategic rugby fan, a Rugby World Cup for us. And as I says, Luke, but currently now it is going to be Marty Banks looking to kick for the corner here. I mentioned Jermaine Ainsley earlier on for him being able to score. We actually had a conversation the other day, my parents and myself, and my sister, she watches horror movies before she goes to sleep because she finds them funny. There you go. And I was like, their scariest horror movie is Shazam, Shaq O'Neal. And there says John, and also, yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of Martin because he's in a Netflix series called Virgin River. I legit don't pipe down about it. And also knowledgeable, Amish, and horror is the best comedy. And this is JSB, and so you live in a country where Transylvania is, says David. Okay, they've got another replacement, and that is going to be Hugh Renton off Billy Harmon on his first game in a very long time. They've got a huge amount of men committed to this lineup by the looks of it for the Highlanders. Goes in straight to the hands of Max Hicks. Right, where is the ball and who has got it? I think Andrew Makaleo. He has got it at the back. Now driving forward very nicely, Makaleo over, and it's given as the try. And Andrew Makaleo, the super sub, I guess you could call him, coming off the bench only a little while away. IT 1 and 2. It is a comedy movie than the horror, or It 1 and 2, sorry. Is your sister older? She is older by a couple years. It's the first try of the match, though, for the Highlanders. We are going to be adding them to that try scorers list, and it was Andrew Makaleo. I feel like Liam Coleman will be sitting there going, mate, I was out there for 50 minutes. We didn't do that once. Now Makaleo is out there, and it is going to be the try for the Highlanders. Nicely done by Andrew Makaleo. And that was in the 51st minute. The Highlanders back in this game now at Forsyth Barr, and I would think that the zoo will start going crazy very soon for themselves. There we go, like this. There we go. We have got it down the bottom there. And Hamish, watch The Exorcist. I really suggest you do. I mean, is it a scary one? And also, they say horror because if you see Shaq's acting, he's a big man though, Shaq. So it's hard to act when you're constantly way above everyone. You know, you can't really do a lot of eye-level stuff. And welcome back, Billy Harmon. Was 28 weeks later in the Irish countryside at Living Room at Night. And then also we've got the Reed Nichols says, hi, says Ollie, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Currently now, Marty Banks about to line up this kick in the 52nd minute. This is going to be important also. Well, David, in accordance in the same reasoning, there are Canadians that can't ice skate, Germans who don't enjoy beer, and French people that eat edible food in there. There's Sebastian that's gone out to the side. And wait, has anyone seen the trailer for his new movie? I have not. I watched Cabin in the Woods thinking it was a comedy. It was not a comedy. That was probably one of the first and last horror movies that I watched. Like, I've got horror games on the Xbox. We haven't played them yet. I want to play Outlast, me and George in a dark room, but I feel like that will be a recipe for disaster, and I'll probably end up getting punched at some stage. Poy Rackety Stones now on the field. That is for Xavier Numia. A couple other subs being made. I'm just looking around. Asafa Mui still there. They're saying we're going right back. Okay, I would like to think that Gareth Evans could let the referee do the job rather than yelling at everyone for that one. And also, the Exorcist is 50 years old. Trust me, you will be scared. And as I says, David the Mod, and also Italians who don't eat pasta. And Gibby Laz Reed is a big crush on Britney Spears. She has a birthday with myself, Britney Spears. Fun fact there. So he will know when that is, more than likely, if he's a big fan of her. We've got there. Go Hurricanes going. Martin described his new movie called X as a film, and not for the faint-hearted. And if you're not like a good scare, then it is not the one for you. And fair enough, buddy, says David the Mod. Well, there is over currently 6 points difference. Zombie horrors. Scariest, the scene where Dan gets chased in the cottage by two ways zombies are hills. And as I says, Luke, currently on the halfway line. Highlanders scrum feed. They've slowly taken that momentum back. I mentioned that they need to score before the 55th minute. They did just that. And if they score again before 65, they are well and truly back in this game. The Hurricanes, and as I says, Justin, now fed in by Aaron Smith, waiting for this ball to pop out the back. It doesn't look like it's doing it too easily for him, though. It's a penalty there in favour of the Highlanders. And this will be from about halfway, 28 weeks later, call it. And there's and also we've got the Hurricanes, says Daniel. And also, oops, I did it again. Says David the Mod, and also the Japanese ring says it was a flesh. And also, Brittany is like 40 years old, or 40 this year. It kind of makes me feel old, says Nov Mum. Yeah, I guess some of her songs probably came out before I was even born, didn't they? All right, also, a trick my friend taught with horror movies is not to look at the fact there is a murderous lunatic on the loose, but try to look at the funny side of the film itself. And there says Amelia. And I think that's why my sister laughs at them, because she just like finds the acting in them not great. Overall, for some of them, definitely like the low budget ones. But now Perenata about to pass it across. We are going to go like this and like this as well. I'm just checking the odds. So the Hurricanes are still favourites. They were favourites going into this match, but the Highlanders are still right in it. And it could go either way in the closing moments. Now it will be Andrew Makaleo once again with another line-out throw available here for the Highlanders. Waiting for this one. The referee not too happy with the closing of the gap. Now waiting. Andrew Makaleo asking for the call. He gets it. It looks like they might go to Billy Harmon at the front here. No, they don't. They go. Yes, they do. They did go to him. They just sold the little feint. And also there's no Willie wetter than mine. Let's go Highlanders there and give it Hamish the stats as well, says Luke. Also, I seen New Zealand acting crew story line up. They shoot they get killed by crazy Americans. And there's also we have got there, let's go Highlanders. Says the wettest Willie there. And that's why horrors are funny. It's the acting. And then now for Tuli Pye tries to go through it. Xavier Numia wouldn't make the tackle on him. He has been told not to play at that ball. In the comedy spoof of Scream, where Carmen Electra is scantily dressed running in slow motion through the water sprinkler dam, as I said over the mod. And also, I do enjoy a good X movie. That's to be seen, Sebastian. Now going back halfway for the Hurricanes currently. And this is to play for, I think it certainly is. Whoever wins this will have momentum heading into their Australian game. The Hurricanes, they have got themselves the update or their matchup up against the Reds. The Highlanders up against the Brumbies. Geordie Barrow with a nice step, a hard hit on him by Thomas Umaga Jensen will be either game on, game over. Who scores next? Massive momentum swing here for the Highlanders. Big score for the next one. So the Hurricanes, they needed to lose by less than 5, didn't they, Jack, for your thingy? Mob. And also, that's a scary movie, says JSB. It's going to be another penalty to the Highlanders. Brilliantly done in the breakdown. And the momentum, if there ever was a doubt that the Highlanders were still in this game, it has now been completely drifted away. You go the Highlanders or Highlanders. And there's a shot called here for Marty Banks from about 48. And he is going to be taking it on. Gareth Evans, so up against his old side. There'll be no love lost between him and his old team. That is for sure. As long as the Hurricanes don't lose by 6+, yes. And there says Jack. I'd like to think you're safe, but I don't know. It's a tricky one. Definitely with the Highlanders playing the way that they are, as long as the Hurricanes, I know they won. And also, it could go to a golden point. That is true. Kick over here from Marty Banks would make the score 14 points. And the Hills have eyes, reminds me of being back in the Welsh Valley. And I don't care if they lose along that side or as long as it's by less than 5. There's Jack, but currently now, Marty Banks, big kicking opportunity here. He's got a massive bandage on his arm. For the right arm, that is. I wonder if we're going to see more of that in the future with injuries, like massive, like just bandages to try and stop any extra damage being done. Oh, that was nice. It was a nice moment, wasn't it? Someone doing the spirit fingers, and then someone just rips the fingers in the background. It's struck by Marty Banks. It goes over. And now the score, 14 points to the Highlanders, 17 to the Hurricanes. And also, we look at if the Hurricanes lose, there'll be a horror movie, also a true story fleshing. And then also Evans and there says, I'm going Young Frankenstein at Classics booth. Sure. Gene Wilder and a Madeline Kahn. Hilarious in there and come on the Canes. Let's go move it and score points. There's Paddy Wagon. They will certainly be hoping to get themselves a few more throughout this game, as there's only 3 points difference now between the two sides. Taken nicely by Banks. Ainsley taken off the field. That will be for Sola Ma'u. It's now been the last replacement of the front row. And Falau Fakatava also on the field now. That is replacing Aaron Smith, who's had a relatively quiet game overall. I'd say that TJ Perenara probably has had the better of the battle of the two. Now, Falau Fakatava kicks a high, 21 minutes left. And the second fixture of the Saturday, the next game, Waratahs versus Western Force. Geordie Barrett, nice chip and chase there. Going to be curving quite nicely towards the inland. And Marty Banks now looking for the pass across, finds the hands of Connor Garner-Bishop, drawing pass out to Sam Gilbert. First space that he's had throughout the game, kicks it in behind. And it goes straight into the hands of Jackson Garner-Bishop, but didn't bet. What was the Chiefs score? Chiefs 30+ in my head. So they ended up, I think they won it by 30+. They did end up winning 45 points to 12. So winning by 33. And come on, Canes, let's go. Move on and score points. Now Marty Banks, a lot of pressure on him, passes it back across. And now pressure, Xavier Numia almost able to get the charge down there, but Fatuli Fire finds the touch at 3, and it could be a golden point, says John, for that one. And also a game where I'm not worried who wins, but did pick the Canes. He's not one, but now a suffer more. Still out on the field. That man could have an impact late for the Hurricanes here. If you can get this line out through right. I see that they have got Caleb Delaney also out on field in Tesla on a Saturday night. And there's says Fleshin. It's going to be nicely taken by Delaney. Now Gibson goes back to Perenara, almost playing his first receiver here. Geordie Barrow tries to go straight through. James Lynch, just doesn't work out for him. Balin Sullivan now, it sits up for Gibson. Offload back into the hands of the number 15, Josh Morby, quickly recycled by Artie Savia. Quick hands out to the bus. Julian Savia was just in touch though. And TJ Perenara thinks he scored it. He slams the ball down. He's not too happy with the touch, judge, but Julian Savia's foot was on the line, and it will now be the 5 meter line out. Yeah, I've got there. Canes, my first team. Landers, my second team, says JSB. So this is going to be a tough one for you to decide on, although I assume you're going for your first team in the Canes. And what about the horror movie Deliverance and the famous line of the sequel or line of squeal like a pig boy? Boots on the touchline. Well done by the referee on this near side to see that it did end up going out. Max Hicks, the very nicely Canes all day, Suns. And there as well says there's TJ Perenara close to being able to score it. But with that foot on the line now, 5 meters out, this is going to be a huge throw here for the replacement, number 16, Andrew Makaleo. And let's go, Canes, get in there. Nothing going. I was out in Highlanders. Let's go, says Max. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Extras channel. It is the pinned comment, and we are going to have plenty more videos coming up on there very soon, including gaming, real-life videos, etc. Points by the quarter. The Hurricanes in the fourth quarter of the Super Rugby season, they score a majority of their points, and it is actually the second highest, or the first highest, alongside the first quarter of a matchup. Let's go, Canes, get in there. Cheers, David. The time is still off. Time is now back on. 19 minutes left. Nicely taken by Gareth Evans. Offloads it back to Falau Fakatavu. Tries to back himself. Goes through the tackle of Isaiah Walker-Leawere, which is not too easy to do. And now they have been able to get a couple extra meters by back into the pocket by Evans. Marty Banks kicks it for the touchline. And also we've got the going Canes get in there. And also Highlanders, let's go, says Max. And also G on the Highlanders try. Now it's going to be nicely done. The Hurricanes once again attacking nicely. Garden Bishop slings it back to Geordie Barrett. Rush defense on him by Fatuli Pai. Was able to shut down any chance of that backline being able to have huge movement now. Blackwell goes back across. Great run from Josh Morby. Tries to offload it to a Suffer. It goes into touch. Another mistake from the Hurricanes here. Thinking about taking it quickly. Marty Banks, he throws it straight into Suffer. Says he's trying to block it, but he was not. He was just there. And Square Like a Pig was effed up. There are some wackos out there, especially in the US, says John. Oh, Andrew Makaleo, another line out throw here. Currently only 18 minutes left between the two sides. One more try for either side could be the difference maker. And come on, Landers. And there says Luke. Currently working hard. Josh Morby, nice pass in the last minute game. And there says Luke. And this is the thing. We've seen a couple games already split by only 4 Banks, right? Marty Banks going off the field. That will be Mitch Hunt now replacing him. One of the first times he's come off the bench as well. Jordan, the best fullback in the world for sure for me. And there as well says Jack. I mean, he's up there at the moment. He's very good. But I'm interested to see how he goes in about 3 years' time. I think that's going to be massive for him. Who else is a good fullback currently in World Rugby? I mean, France have got a pretty good one in Jamanier at the moment. Nicely taken by Mitch Hunt. Passes it across, taken back. Scott Gregory kicks it downfield. It's gone out on the full. So that is a big mistake from the Highlanders and Gregory there. And also Hurricanes versus Reds next Saturday. Yes, it is indeed. It should be a very exciting game to see who does get the better of this. We've actually only got one more game of round 9 until we get to see those Trans-Tasman fixtures. So we will be doing the lineup videos for those ones next week. So be sure to stick around for them, Colby. But Jordan is the man. And there, as I said, Jack is going to be held on to nicely for the Hurricanes. Now asking for a few more men on this near side. Kicked him behind from Garden Bishop. It was a terrible kick. Going to say it how it was. And that was not the right option for their Fakatawa. Breaks out of the tackle of Artie Savi and now puts it back into the pocket for Mitch Hunt, who kicks it towards the touchline. Gets plenty of height on it. Plenty of distance. Nicely done by Mitch Hunt and up to the halfway line now. And it's been to the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. Says Flish in there. And Stuart Hogg, another very good name playing in the game later on for the Exeter Chiefs up against Munster and a game changer in his own right there, Stuart Hogg. Who else can I think of? Freddie Stewart, you'd have to argue at the moment, one of the best informed halfbacks, or not halfbacks, fullbacks in the world today. He was sensational throughout those end-of-year internationals and also in the Six Nations. Is a very good player now. Josh Morby, just not quite able to sneak through. They've been able to grab on just by a little bit of a shirt. Yep, well, Jordan and Geordie, both good. Geordie and Jordan, versatile and can play wing and centre as well. And as Hurricanes all day, all the way from South Africa. So currently you must be sitting very early morning. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are having a good day and hope you are excited for plenty of rugby coming up. The Blitz box playing in the sevens later on. We are going to be covering their games on the channel. It's going to be tricky. South Africa going from a 38 win streak to 3 losses. But I think they're going to fire back big in this one and go Highlanders. 2 minutes. Rewind the stream. Come on, Highlanders. And there as well says Luke. Now Mitch Hunt. It's going to be kicking this one for the touchline. Does get some nice distance on it. And now about 30 metres out from the line. It's going to be another good attacking opportunity, but it was a great run from Josh Morby. Like I mentioned, he's been so close yet so far away from getting the line break. The sevens is annoying South Africa and Fiji are just different animals. And there says Jack. And yeah, if you're looking at it from a betting standpoint, do not bet on sevens. You never know what is going to happen in those games. But now Thomas Umanga Jensen is going to be greeted by his brother Peter Umanga Jensen, and Highlanders from Ireland. And Tony Brown was an excellent player as was Rick Flutie, the assistant coach, and awesome sevens as well. Love it, says John. And yeah, they are taking place in the middle of the night, the Toronto Sevens. But we are going to be live for a majority of those games. I believe we're going to be doing about 13 or 14 games of the first day of sevens, and then doing all the quarterfinals, all the semifinals, etc. And also Melvin Chaminier. And there says Gareth. But currently there's a player down who looks like he's in some very bad discomfort. Looks like some sort of arm injury, all Scott Gregory. I think his shoulder's been popped out possibly here. Looks like he's in a huge amount of pain. He's just having a chat at the moment, saying a few swear words while he's at an off. Also, I've lost a lot of money on sevens in the past. Worst thing to bet on. Exactly right. Like, favourites are not favourites in sevens. They're just more likely to win. Like, that's the best way of looking at it. Anything can happen. Fiji, they lost to Ireland. South Africa, they lost their 38-match winning streak, like I mentioned. So you just never know. And also, Fiji are in the final for the sevens. It's almost certain they will win. There's no bum. Yeah, it could be close to a certain bet, although never know. It's always very tricky. But Fiji, they've got a couple big games coming up for them in the sevens. I believe they've got Kenya, they've got the USA, and they have also got someone else who's actually quite good. As rugby sevens are not bad. And there says, like, yeah, it's always a very entertaining time because of how fast-paced the games are. It's pretty much you're doing one live stream, then after that you're on to the next because the games just fly by that quickly. So we are going to be doing a few separate ones. And also, what do you think of George's post on Discord about the Blues, lol? Says Danny. Yeah, he is a passionate Crusader supporter, of course. And yeah, he was saying that he didn't feel that they were quite where they want to be yet for the Blues, I think it was. And years ago, before I understood sevens, I had loads of money on Ireland to beat USA, as I never heard of USA Rugby, lost about £500 as the USA thrashed them. Yeah, and that's the other side of things. It's completely different depending on like who you've actually got in the lineups as well. It's just so quick with who they change. Like a player out, Andrew Newstubb, he's not playing for the Kiwis. And I was like, Ireland, they made it through to the quarterfinals. In fact, the semi-finals, which was very nicely done, I thought, compared to where a lot of people thought they would finish. They thought they were finishing about ninth. They finished in fourth in the end, which was very impressive for the Irish. Now, Isaiah Walker-Leawere, once again, going to be holding on to this ball just outside of the 22. Jamie Booth fires it back to Jackson Garner-Basham, and USA are good. And on their day, Carlin Isles and Perry Speed to burn. And that's the thing. They're the two players who get the big recognition for pace. And then you look through some of those other names. Kevon Williams, he is a pacey man as well. And then, like, you chuck in big Joe Schroeder. Like, they've got a good foundation for a lot of potential in the future. Now, kick downfield, nicely taken by Geordie Barrett. And yes, like Kenya, I thought they would be bad as they don't 15s. But they are decent at sevens, and you have to understand both formats exactly right. And Kenya are a side that can beat anyone on any given day when they play well. And gets it back again. Is he back? Tell a friend welcome back. As he hope you are doing well, mate. So Lisi Reasi sees a bit of a gap down the touchline. Does kick it straight into the hands of Sam Gilbert. A bouncy ball going all over the place. Now Banks fires it back across. Nicely done here. Mitch Hunt. Good attack and run forward. Grubber in behind. Julian Savia trying to win the foot race. His legs give out. Beautiful skills from Thomas Umanga Jensen. Now ball on the inside off to Daniel Leonard Brown. 5 meters out. Hardy Savia steals the ball at the most opportune time. Taken back by the Highlanders though. Max Hicks backs himself. Scores the try. And the Highlanders take the lead. And that was a phase and a half from both sides. But Max Hicks, the replacement for Josh Dixon, scores the try, gets the Highlanders the lead now. And in the 66th minute, they are going to be able to have the lead for the first time in this game now. As the Highlanders or Hurricanes haven't scored this half, they need to wake up. Says Jack, they certainly need to, because that was brilliant skill down the wing from Thomas Umanga Jensen, just flicking it back on the inside. Then the pass off to Daniel Leonard Brown. And also USA Sevens has the American Samoans, has those American Samoans and those bloody quick NFL rejects. And there says Flesh. And Hicks, he backs himself to go through the tackle with Sullivan. He does just that. And now the Highlanders have the lead near the later stages of the game. Like they're saying, a shift of momentum, a game or two halves. The French media and rugby are shocking through in Western world. Spanish and British media are controversial. And also Hurricanes coaches had just had hernias, I should say, for Uncle. Yeah, not what they would have been wanting. Marty Banks, hang on. That man went off the field, so I believe he came back on for Scott Gregory. Well, I was not watching, but Marty Banks lines it up. Gets the kick over as well. 21 points to the Highlanders, 17 to the Hurricanes. And yes, Highlanders says, look, and game on, says Novmum. Certainly has 12 minutes left. And the Highlanders, they have been able to take themselves a 4-point lead. The bench are excited at the moment for this game, but it was a great move from Mitch Hunt. Injection of that extra pace, that skill from Thomas Umaga-Jensen is hugely underrated. If he had held on to that ball and passed it, he probably would have been forced into touch. But because it was so quick and so precise, they were able to keep themselves going forward. Nice step there from Sam Gilbert, except Julian Savia smacked him. And also, over their last minute game of bloody Canes, they are worse than the bloody Warriors. And there says John. And the big thing here is there is a 4-point difference between these two sides. We saw 2 games separated by 4 points in the first night of Super Rugby. I think whoever scores next will win. And there's no moment, and also Hurricanes. Says JSP. And this will be huge for the Highlanders in their table. I will quickly go like this, although I will mention that this is not updated after the last game that we did see. The Chiefs, they did move their way up a little bit further. And now if the Hurricanes, I mean, that's the thing. The Highlanders, if they win this game, they will move themselves up to 12 points just behind the Western Force, who will have a game in hand, and the Rebels also, they will have a game in hand, but they'll be a lot closer than they were before. It looks like Saula Ma'u at the moment just getting a bit of medical attention here. Maybe might be going back off the field for Jermaine Ainsley, perhaps. If it doesn't, it does continue for him. And bench is a difference at the moment. And also, we have got there, Hamish, how fast do you run 100 meters? I don't. But if I did run it, it wouldn't be very quick at all. And also, as an ex-gambler, if you're going to bet on your picks, always make another bet at the same time to cover any losses you make. It doesn't work all the time, says David. And also, we have the Chiefs points. Chiefs points haven't been updated. They are on 23 now. And there it says Novum. Yeah, so I haven't updated that one just yet. They are currently on 23, but that was the one that I had for the first matchup. Hence why they have moved up to 5th for that one. And also, like once the were Warriors, Jake, to be the Hurricanes defensive coach, Jake's wife to be the Monsieur. Not too sure what that word is. I think it's close to Monsieur. And currently, the Highlanders, they're chasing their second win. And if they get it, that will be huge for them. Because at the end of the day, a win here keeps them in the hunt for the quarterfinal. And the man who just kicked that one for the touch, Marty Banks. Mafaleo is gone off the field now for the Hurricanes, and it is going to be Pasaleo Tosi who has made his way out there. Now, waiting for this one to throw it in. Andrew Makaleo, 10 minutes left is all that is left in this game. 4 points difference. This could easily go either way, like I mentioned. Now taken nicely at the front by, it was Billy Harmon, now Whakatava off to Banks for Tuli Pire runs hard at the line. And they just need to try and get some momentum back for the Hurricanes. And also we have got there, did you not run 100 meters in school? No, we only had to do like 60 meters. They were nice to us because they saw that everyone was just struggling. So they were like, right, 60 meters. And oh, Monsieur doing massage. Okay, that makes sense. I think I was pronouncing it almost the way that you would say that. I just didn't click with the 2. That's going to be on the side of the Canes now. And Isaiah Walker-Leawere at the back for the Hurricanes. Another run from Tosi. In fact, his first run of the day. As I mentioned, now around the side. Piercing quite nicely. Adrian Choate. In fact, it's Blake Gibson. I'm just saying all the random names now. Isaiah Walker-Leawere. I do know that name. That one almost wasn't a knock-on the ground. I think it was. But they're going to be going out the back line. A little bit of a juggle from Peter Umaga-Jensen. And he was tackled by his brother. That would have been something that they practiced in the backyard many, many times. And when I was a team playing rugby, I could do 100 meters in 14 seconds. Not bad for a front rower. Just Jay's been a nice one. But yeah, they had the different distances. I'm sure you could beat George in a 100-meter race. I wouldn't guarantee it. George is deceptively quick. Like, he is a fast boy when he needs to be. Now that is nicely done down to the halfway line, and it will be the Hurricanes We have now got it, and also we've got there not a fan of Garden Bishop. They need to put Ruben Love in for the impact off the bench, says John, because currently, who else have they got off the bench here for the Hurricanes? They've got Aidan Morgan as their replacement. Do you think they'll use him soon, or do you think they'll leave him out there? Oh, they've just made the sub, I believe, for that one, so they must have heard you. I guess. And also, come on, Landers. And there it says Luke now passing it back across. Trying to just stop any chance of the momentum building for the Hurricanes. Jamie Booth back to the pocket of Geordie Barrett. Kicks it downfield, looking for the 50-22. Goes straight into the hands, though, of Mitch Hunt, who was back now across to Marty Banks. Two playmakers in the Highlanders side. Marty Banks bangs that one downfield. Taken very nicely by Aidan Morgan. Now slinging it back across to Salisi Rayasi, who actually has a kick of the ball. Now good kicking behind. Goes into the 22. Connor Garden Bishop waits for it to sit up, passes it across to Marty Banks, who now looks for the touchline. He does find it. It's a massive kick. Aidan Morgan considered taking it quickly, decides against that. And George in terms is quick in terms of his reaction time or running. And there, running wise, he's a very quick boy, George. Overall, like he goes for the occasional run. And I think that helps, but I haven't run in a long time. I'll probably break one of my ankles if I try and run. Even speed walking would be dangerous enough for myself. Now, Adi Savia back across to Jamie Booth. Now off Peter Umaga, Jensen Salisi Rayasi. Nice step there from Geordie Barrett. And the Hurricanes, they have not given up in this game just yet. It's an advantage. And I believe they will take that penalty every day of the week as soon as it becomes available. But Salisi Rayasi, another good run up towards the halfway line. Booth fires it back across to Balin Sullivan. A little bit of wrestling going on between Savia and also Billy Harmon going back for the penalty now. Up to 73 minutes in this game. Declan not being able to roll away there. And this is a massive opportunity for the Hurricanes to get a bit further down the field. Now, Geordie Barrett, we know how good his kick is, but 62 metres might just be asking a little bit too much of him. Instead, kicks it downfield into touch. And from 32 metres out, they are now going to have themselves the line out. But I hope you guys are all enjoying. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe because we have still got the Western Force taking on the Waratahs as the later game that we are covering for Super Rugby. And then after that, we've got Munster versus Exeter and then a few games of the sevens that will be coming up very soon. Also now Aidan Morgan, pop pass up. This is space here for Julian Savia off to Salisi Rayasi. Back in his pace, needs the pass, points the offload. Aidan Morgan scores and the Hurricanes take the lead in the super sub of Aidan Morgan. He is fired up at the moment, the youngster. Nathan Cleary put on a kicking clinic versus the Broncos last night. Next level. I should be safe from here, surely. And there it says, Jack, I'd like to think so. Now that there's been another try for Aidan Morgan, I would say that your money is safe. Aidan Morgan, able to score. I think they're going to be checking this one just to make sure that it is all legal and all right. But I believe Aidan Morgan has just got the Hurricanes into the lead for this matchup. Oh, yes, all cleared, all good. And it is going to be the try. And also we've got the Canes go. The Canes says there's a last-minute try that could be the deciding factor in this game. Nicely done by Julian Savia, attacking the line hard. 1 point difference between the two sides. Geordie Barrett, he needs this kick to go over because that means a three-pointer will still give them half an opportunity of being able to run away with it. And also bollocks Jake at the miss. Canes coach has woken up from his hangover. Maori Mana in there and go the Canes, says John. But now 5 minutes left. Like they're saying, one of the first real attacking opportunities for the Hurricanes throughout that second half. He'll line this one up. Geordie Barrett from the touchline. Getting ready to strike it. Nicely done. It's going wide. We have a 1 point contest, ladies and gentlemen. That pretty much takes away the opportunity of golden point here. Salisi Rayasi. Good work from Whakatawa to almost force him wide. Good work from Connor Garden Bishop. But in the end, they just weren't quite able to stop it right. The time is off currently. They are just going to be making some subs. I believe that is Scott Gregory returning out to the field. I wish you a young man. Enjoy the outdoors while you can. And as I said, Danny Lewis. But yeah, like I said the other day, normally when I am awake, it's dark. And when I'm asleep, it's light. So it doesn't quite work out too well. But Banks now off the field And Scott Gregory makes his way back out there. And I predict a 79th minute penalty kick winner for the Landers. And currently they're in the right position on the field. Looks like it could be, it was close to the turnover. The Hurricanes need to get this downfield because or else then the Highlanders might be able to turn this one over. And isn't the actor who did Jake feature the Star Wars? He's a good New Zealand actor. There says, look, it's a massive kick downfield there. Scott Gregory now taking it nicely. Connor Garden Bishop, can he get that final blow for the Highlanders? They're up to the halfway line. Good run forward. Xavier Numia able to make the tackle on him. Tackle release is the call there. Isaiah Walker-Leawere trying to go for the counter ruck. Falau Fakatava dropping that ball backwards, so it is going to be play on just for now. Billy Harmon, that one debatably went forwards, but it's been stolen by the Hurricanes anyway. Nicely done by Caleb Sangster. In fact, sorry, it is Justin Sangster now. Artie Savia across to Aidan Morgan. In fact, it's Gibson. He's been putting in a full effort out there on the field. Pulling his pants back up as they were just pulled down. 50 metres out from the line here for the Hurricanes. Or Gareth Evans might have just copped one from a Safa Moore. Right, they might have to check that one because he did go down like it was something serious. It's taken back now. And Gareth Evans, he will stay down for as long as physically possible because that is the best way for them to check it on the TMO. And also, you can go on the treadmill while you do the stream. Be a bit tricky. Overall, be quite loud as well, possibly. And Hurricanes too, the redemption in the SJSB. And also, we have got there, come on, boys, says Paddy Wagon. Now passing it back across. I believe Gareth Evans is still down for Tuli Paya going out wide. Nice step on the inside there. Yeah, he is staying down. And I think they are just talking about what happened in that situation. It's a penalty to the Highlanders. Now, do they go upstairs to check what happened to Gareth Evans? Okay, Artie Savia. He's not too happy with that one. Right, they're going to have a look at this one on the replay. The time will be going off very soon. Okay, they are going to be checking at Gareth Evans, possibly for the head knock. And also, I like Blake Gibson's game at 7. He's been looking very impressive. And he's got the black eye at the moment, Gareth Evans. And also, Luke, what dish is your mum cooking? And there it says Danny Lewis. And also, my mum's cooking Japanese dish in the morning in Ireland. And also, Hurricanes will nick this one. Okay, like they're saying, they're happy enough. Oh. Okay, they said there's no foul play. Safamu, he did kind of lead with the shoulder a little bit there. He has gone off now for his HIA, Gareth Evans. He will not be returning for the rest of this game. And also, come on, Islanders. And that one, Masagwa, he has gone with the Hurricanes. So the question, Masagwa, who are you going with for that next matchup? Are you going Waratahs or Western Force? I know that game's going to be a good one. Hopefully a relatively close game as well. Now, Mitch Hunt is going to be trying to get as many meters as physically possible. All they need is a penalty now, the Highlanders, a converted penalty, and they will win this game. Now, Marty Banks has been kicking sensationally throughout this matchup, whereas Mitch Hunt, in his last game, he struggled off the kicking tee. You don't want it to come down to a 40-meter out kick for Mitch Hunt because you know that the pressure is just going to be building so much on that man. Currently, Andrew Makaleo about to line this one up now. Currently 79 minutes through, it says, but it is 78 currently. Going to the back, taken nicely by Brent Evans. It goes down. Scott Gregory now, another attacking run. Good tackle on him. Safuma loses the footing, so he is not able to go for it. Now Billy Harmon, good attacking run. This is setting up quite nicely for a kicking opportunity. Perhaps even a drop kick could be on the cards here for the Highlanders. But one thing is for sure, this game's going to be close right down to the wire. Now Daniel Leonard-Brown goes back across. Wide cut out pass now out to Scott Gregory. Does just fend off Julian Savia. That's for the one earlier on, I think. He did decide that he did want to get a little bit of a bag now. 5 phases in. Mitch Hunt lines it up. Nice tackle on him. There's currently a player down for the Highlanders, so they are actually playing with 14 once again. Blake Gibson almost able to turn it over, unable to do so. Justin Sangster tries to get that turnover as well in the breakdown. Big run from Daniel Leonard-Brown. They're getting a bit close to the player currently, and Billy Harmon has to get up. Oh, no. I've just realised who the player down is. It's Billy Harmon. He's only just come back from injury, so hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. Currently trying to turn this ball over here. The Highlanders just building phase after phase, trying to buy a penalty opportunity. Now, he's out of the way, as the comment from the referee. Daniel Leonard-Brown Tackled well by Reed Princep. This is just phase after phase after phase. In fact, it wasn't Princep. Instead, it was the man who came off the bench not too long ago, and Caleb Delaney. A few of the players for the Hurricanes are looking a bit tired, and the player I was trying to say was Adi Savia there. Now still going for it. It is Ma'u in the midfield, still hanging on to it. 13 phases in. Mitch Hunt with the cutout pass out to Billy Harmon. He's back to his feet and still running. Here, Billy Harmon, he goes down. They do have to release him, and they did it a little bit late there for the not releasing one. Falau Fakatava back across now to Daniel Leonard Brown. Still phase after phase starting to build here for the Highlanders. 15 in a row, and they are still only 1 point behind. That is the final siren that we can hear. Connor Garner-Bishop tries to go on the inside. Oh, Peter Umaga Jensen takes a really awkward way of landing there. They said that the ball is still available. 17 phases in now. I'm waiting to see who will get the better of this game. Literally only 1 point between them. Falau Fakatava passes it off now for Tulipai. You do not want to be the man that makes a mistake, and that was almost a mistake. And the breakdown, Fakatava goes back across to Lynchus. Fakatava once again, they're almost up to 20 phases. Mitch Hunt, a little bit of rush defense on him. It doesn't look like they're going for the drop kick, though. They want the try here for the Highlanders, opening up on the outside. Scott Gregory down the wing with a good step. He's outdone Julian Savia, dragged down 5 meters short of line, straight in the breakdown for the Hurricanes, unable to get it. Now Falau Fakatava. Oh, that was high on Saula Mau. He's gone over. And it's whether or not it's double movement. Okay. I think that might be the try. And also we got the Canes and Landers fans on the edges of their seats. And also we have got that go. And there it says Luke. Okay. First of all, Saula Malu. Was he tackled high? Second of all, did he have a second go after he was tackled? Third of all, was it over the line at the right time? And oh, what a game. And there says Lord. Currently now, on-field decision is no try. They feel he was short and then he propelled himself forward. Luckily, they might have that advantage for the high shot, though. And if that is the case, they'll have a kick to win the game. Right. This is massive in the form of this game. The Highlanders, this is make or break. So Geordie Barrett, for me, that's a high tackle. Saula Malu, he is tackled. He reaches out. I feel he is also short there. Then he propels himself forward. So this is going to be a penalty, in my opinion, as a high tackle against them. And I was like, hard luck, well done, Canes. I think it's going to be a penalty against Geordie Barrett, though. It's almost got to be. Tackle him too high. Saula Mau, he was just short of line. There was someone's boot in the way. I think it was Isaiah Walker-Leoere. Did phenomenally. But you've got to argue that is a high shot from Geordie Barrett. So that's shorter line, shorter line, shorter line, shorter line, shorter line, shorter line, over the line there. Still over, but I don't know whether or not it's actually down. I think that's almost held up there. And I was like, well done, Canes. The line out, says Luke. Although, do you take on the line out? That's the big factor. Because last time the Hurricanes did that, they lost the game because of it. No clear grounding. Full time. Try is not given. Not a high shot by Geordie Barrett. That is full time. Wow. I have to take the kick. They didn't get the opportunity to. They said, nah, that's all good. I would have called that a high tackle against Geordie Barrett every single day of the week. Canes get the win. And there says uncool. And also we got the illegal tackle with the winky face from KZNZ and kick to touch. And then come on Highlanders. Or sorry, come on Hurricanes. And there says Justin. GG says Tesla. But that is going to be a lucky star for the Hurricanes there, because they were so close to losing this game. The second half, you'd have to give it 9 times out of 10 to the Highlanders with the way that they played. And shush, and this is crazy. It said that one also up the game, says Tesla. And then also GG. But yeah, what a game of rugby. Only 1 point difference between the two sides in this one. The Hurricanes, they hang on. Controversy, says Lord. Definitely a lot of controversy. That is why the crowd were booing. Or Gav Evans, he has got a nice shiner underneath that left eye, or right eye, after getting nailed by Asafa Moore. And also the Canes, says John, and well, says Justin. But the next game that we are going to be covering, it will be starting in about 40 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. The Western Force taking on the Waratahs, and what should be a very exciting fixture. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out that Kiwi Lads Extras link in the pinned comment. That is to our other channel, and then the Kiwi Lads Sport is the one underneath there. Be sure to check those out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, as we have got plenty more content coming on both of those channels in the near future. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. 2 tries for the Highlanders, Andrew Makalara and Max Hicks. Then for the Hurricanes, Balin Sullivan, Salisi Rayasi, and then Aidan Morgan scoring that last-minute try. That was a saviour for the Hurricanes to really get their second half back in the way that they would have liked it. But the Highlanders to be 1 point behind after having a red card was probably pretty well done for them. I mean, good on you, boys. And there's Paddy Wagman. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all in a short moment for the Western Force.